Hey there. What are you doing? What? You haven't liked, subscribed, and turned the notifications on yet? What are you waiting for? It's time to talk some puck.
Let's go! This ain't the puck night! Or this game he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I, Matt Satsuni, along with the Darkwing Brian Daly.
What up? Repping a little orange and black today for the conversation.
Nice. And the broken one himself, Rob Povia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And today we are going to dive into the Flyers preseason as it has begun. It's actually almost over, and there is a game going on right now between the Flyers and the Islanders. Unfortunately, it is not televised. You can watch it though on the Islanders website. It's being streamed.
No, you can't. That's bullshit. I was told that too. Complete fabrication. I'm just following along. It's got a game center. Whoop de fucking do. Anyway, go on, proceed.
Anyway, so yeah, today the Flyers and the Islanders meet for their final meeting of the preseason, and then the Flyers finish up their preseason on Friday when they take on the Washington Capitals at the Verizon Center, and then we shall await for next week. When the regular season begins, the Flyers will have their home opener against the Vancouver Canucks, the first time the Flyers have had a Western Conference opponent in a whole season. Since last year, that did not happen. All right.
It's weird of all the teams to pick to open up the season, the Vancouver Canucks, huh?
Yeah, true. And the funny part is, too, our second game of the season is against the Kraken. So it's even funnier. It's like, huh. So we start with Vancouver, and then we face the Kraken, and they both come to Philadelphia.
I gotta figure out how I'm getting all my games streamed here because I think they said ESPN Plus is only doing certain games.
That is true.
And they're not doing them all.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out how I'm going to be watching the Flyers in Anaheim. Especially since NHL TV is not going to be a thing anymore.
Yes, due to, changes and whatnot to the streaming service and the coverage. Gotta love it when they make those decisions. But anyway.
Just want to say what's up to the fam. Hope everybody's doing well out there. It's a muggy night here in North Carolina. But hope everybody's doing well. It's just up in Jersey. Sorry I didn't get to see everybody. But I'll be up again in November. So hopefully we can try and get something figured out here. Definitely want to see you boys.
Yeah.
You better. I'm still hurt. You didn't even reach out.
Stop it.
I had to hear it through the grapevine.
You're a liar. No, you didn't.
We have to check the Flyer schedule. Maybe we can find a game in November.
I'm sure there's plenty of games in November. There's probably going to be at least 15.
Yeah, there should be. I mean, we are supposed to have a regular 82. But anyway, Moira saying, yo, boys, evening. Hello, Moira.
What up, Mo?
Hey.
And today, our question is brought to you by our show sponsor, Body Check Wellness. You can use that promo code A2D at the bottom of your screen for 25% off of your order, created by former Philadelphia Flyers and Phantoms enforcer Riley Cote, one of the baddest animals in the hockey jungle in his day. And he created this for focus, clarity, balance in life. It's a line of hemp and THC-free products, ointments, gummies, you name it, they got it. They use it for everything. If you wanted to help with a diet, it can help you with that. If you need to get more focused and honed in on, say, schoolwork, like for me, for editing work, like Rob, for cooking, like Bry, either
I was waiting
way.
to see what you were going to say for me because I was like,
No, I was going to be classy because it's a sponsor. I was going to be classy about it.
I could actually definitely use that for cooking. A lot of multitasking, a lot of concentration needed for that job. So
yeah. So anything that you're doing in life, these products can absolutely help you guys. So go out and check it out. Rob will tell you all about it, man. He's been using them for his editing work, and it's been perfect.
John,
Every
my
day.
guy.
Take it down with my
John, my
supplements
guy.
every day.
Oh yeah, I would. I should. I really do. I really should. I really should. My man, John. John A.
What's up, John? They're saying, what other A2D members looks out for those boys? Love life in Carolina. Well done, John. Well done.
I love the hashtag Brian shoots, he scores.
Well done. John Malma saying, hockey dudes, wax up.
Johnny.
What's up, man?
What's up, John?
And by the way, you see that little logo by John there. That means he is an A2D member, which is a membership absolutely worth getting into because it's $9.99 a month, but the perks include appearances on shows. We've had Prism on here twice, and that's open to anybody who's a member. So if John wanted to come on, we could have him on. If Don ever wanted to come on, we can have him on too. If anybody who's an A2D member wanted on, they can be on.
When Don, oof, I got some beef with Don.
Oh boy,
I got some beef with Don. So I got my chat up. I'm waiting for him.
Oh boy,
I'm waiting for him.
Oh boy. So yes,
What up, Pete?
You can have appearances on shows, members only streams, shout outs, and weekly sports picks from the Money Pop podcast in Willie Vegas. Both of those sources, you make your membership back and then some. So you get paid to be a member using their advice and throwing around a little bit of money and getting a lot back.
John, there should be a link somewhere. If it's not on the Facebook side, check the YouTube side. There should be a link on the YouTube, in the YouTube chat for becoming a member.
Yeah, we got Pete chiming in. Yo, fam, what's up, Pete?
My man, Pete.
John saying, hey, boys, where do I get the membership? Which is what we were talking about there. Dave Rosca saying he's watching the Yankees and the Red Sox wild card. Oh, classic rivalry right there. That's actually worth watching.
Yeah, and especially since it's a one-game playoff, and it's going to make it that much better.
Yeah. Jake, what's up, man? Saying, what's up, boys? I only watched a couple of minutes of the preseason. It's good to see you guys made it through the social media shutdown in one piece. Yeah. Actually, honestly, I use social media so little, I didn't even realize it was shut down. So,
Jake, I'm not going to lie, brother. I was kind of hoping it was just going to stay down. Social media is a big issue with the world right now. So, but anyway, I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good for what we're doing here. This is probably about the only good thing we got going on with social media is the growth of AGD. So it's good it came back. Let's keep it going. Let's keep growing.
When you keep it peaches and cream, they can't, slap the wrist. You know what I mean? Nah.
Oh yeah. Too many people these days keyboard warriors because of social media, and they can be because no one's going to punch them in the mouth for acting like an asshat. So, but yeah, but A2D doing great things on social media. Become a member, do great things. Fuck with an algorithm. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's go, boys.
And Frank saying, hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work. I am guilty. I have not seen a lick of the preseason. It's all right. It's all right. A lot to watch.
Well, I'm here to tell you, I've watched more preseason hockey this year than I have in past few seasons. I'm ready. I'm ready to break it down for you guys.
I haven't watched.
I've been watching two teams. I've been watching the Flyers and I've been watching the Sharks. Well, technically listening to a couple of the Sharks games because they weren't televised, so I had to go onto the Sharks audio network. Luckily, the NHL makes that readily available. So thank you, NHL, for at least doing that. But anyway.
Oh, get up. Go on.
So who just hit a home run?
Xander Bogaerts.
That is the Xander man. That's right. 1-0 Red Sox.
Let's go. Let's go. Take out the evil empire. Another $1 billion roster not getting shit. Let's go.
2-0. Pardon me. 2-run shot.
Oh, it's a 2-run shot. I didn't even know there was a guy on base. Either way, doesn't change what I said. Fuck the Yankees.
You and everybody else who's not a Yankees fan, right?
Yo, I got this new server at work. She's a Yankee fan. She's from New York. And she was talking shit earlier, so I can't wait. I can't wait. Off of Garrett Cole of all people, too. Let's fucking go.
So obviously, if the Red Sox come out on top on this one, you're gonna be throwing out a subtle little jab here or there when you go back.
Oh, they're not going to be subtle. It's going to be like I'm flat out punching her right in the face. Like, let's just put it to you that way.
The poll question here for today: the Flyers preseason has been great. Agree or disagree? And we got Benny's Nation saying, "What's up, gents? What's up, Benny?" And Moira saying, "I honestly was so busy at work, I wasn't even trying to get in at the time. Who cares about Marky Mark? Lol. I'll use MySpace if I need to reach anyone."
MySpace, that's right.
MySpace was the best. That's right. Embed those videos, man. All your favorite music videos.
Yeah, and then you have your like top 8 or whatever, and if you weren't in the top 8, you're like cursing your friends out. Like, what the fuck? Why you're in my top 8? Why am I not in yours?
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, good times. Good times. I feel so old now.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't feel too old. I do remember MySpace. It was towards the end of its life, but yes, I do remember it.
Well, that's good. That's good. I was on MySpace early. I was one of the initial people to connect to make it go off the ground. Like I was conversing with Tila Tequila back in the day, being like, send me nudes, please. You know what I mean?
And now you don't even need to. Now you just have to go to Pornhub, and her videos are all over the place.
Now this was back in the day before OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about OnlyFans.
This is back with the original fans. But anyway,
That's right.
So
That's right.
on to Prism. I will penalize myself for that bad joke. But anyway, Prism going on to I Hate Keyboard Warriors. I've challenged a few people to pick a date online. I've also told a few I'd give them mine. Oh, God.
You know, that's why I just stay off of it, man. I share my shit and then I leave. You know what I mean? Like, love me or hate me, whatever, follow me or don't. Like, I ain't trying. I have enough drama in my life. I don't need to create drama.
Yeah.
Speaking of drama, nice segue. Hi, Don Don.
Wasn't even on purpose, but we'll take it. Hey, Don Don.
So, bone to pick with you, bro. So you're gonna sit there. You're gonna talk. You're gonna talk to the boys on Flight Zone. You can catch out every Monday night at 9:30. They do a wonderful job. They got a little manhandle last night, but they stood tall. They did their thing. You can sit there. You're gonna jump on their show, huh? Meanwhile, we've been trying to get you to jump on our show for how long now? Since you became a member, and you're volunteering to go on Flight Zone. Yeah, this again. Yeah, this again. Come on, bro. Dude. Come on. I love you, man. But like, come on. That's a kick in our balls. That's a kick in our balls.
Hey, it's a Red Wings fan. You just want to come on a show a bunch of Flyers fans. You know, get the proverbial ass handed to them, verbally speaking. You know what I mean? I get it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, we got nothing but love for this guy, but you know, he's gonna go to Flight Zone where they don't love him as much as we do.
That's right. We're hurt.
You know, whatever. Go to Flight Zone. Fuck you and your Red Wings. I'm just kidding. No, I love you, brother. Love you, brother. I just wanted to give you a little hard time. That's all. I mean, after all, you guys want to call me Sarah Jessica Parker for some reason. I don't know.
Well, Prism did. He came to the defense of Don Don here.
I didn't even go after Prism this time. Now he's poking the fire over here. Calling me Sarah off the bat.
You knew it was going to be a handicap match the moment you picked the fight with Don Don. You knew Prism was going to try and tag in at some point.
Of course, they're the champs.
That's terrific.
because he doesn't want to mess things up. Oh, love you, Benny. That was awesome. I like that. These guys are great. I love it. I love you guys. I do.
That's funny. Good old Benny.
Yeah,
Benny
geez.
did also. He also threw out the. He also threw out a comment earlier saying, "What's Pornhub?" too, from what Rob
What's
said
Pornhub?
earlier.
And then you got Don. You got Don on time. He's like, wait, what? What? What did I come into? Yeah, talk about Pornhub and Tila Tequila and her many videos.
Let's see.
Super muggy down here. It's getting warm. I might have to take the jersey off.
Well, all right.
A very fine chemo jersey it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I agree.
And to steer it back to the poll question, Benny's did say disagree. He goes on to say, I think this team is still trying to find that chemistry. It'll take at least the first 10 games to find their way. I mean, I think that some combinations are, but I think a lot of that's due to the fact that it's a changing roster every game. So, because you're going to have some rookies coming in, some prospects coming in, and, sometimes you're going to have some lineup combinations to try and, see who's got good chemistry with who or who's looking like they might have a good chemistry. The one thing that I will say that I've been seeing a lot of chemistry on is Provy and Ellis, which is great to see on the first defensive pair right off the bat. The first playoff game. I wish it was the first preseason game. Provy and Ellis paid dividends, getting an assist for Masking Sushko's goal. So it's like, okay, early signs of these guys having some good chemistry with each other, and I've been seeing a lot of good puck movement on the power play. 5-on-5 against the Islanders, they were a little rough at times, but they did get a little bit under control. Bruins, but we sent a B squad up to Boston, so that kind of was going to happen. And then A squad wise, for some reason they needed to get scored on to wake up. It's like, one thing I will knock is the penalty kill. That's been kind of annoying me a little bit. It's like, get that a little bit better. That's got to be a little bit better going into the regular season. But
like you said, Maddie, it's a hodgepodge in the preseason. So I mean, like, you're gonna have some players. You gotta take a look at other players. Other players are sitting around, so it may be hard to put a thermostat on that. I get that.
Yeah, it's still. But I think I understand that what Benny's point of view, though, is like, and I think it does kind of base off of that, where we don't have the actual starting lineup playing all the time. So that could also lead to maybe they need to get a little chemistry in them in the beginning of the season. I mean, it's not out of the realm possibility.
I don't know. See, I sort of disagree with Benny here a little bit. I love you, man. And I see where you're coming from, because things are going to be disjointed in a way in the preseason. But, I looked for three things coming in to this preseason to get cleaned up from last year. And that is why I agree with the poll. It has been great because I've seen strong elements of improvement in these three areas. Clearing the porch. Ellis and Risto is doing exactly what they were brought in to do. It's why I suggested adding Risto in particular last season. They're playing more aggressive, not waiting for the play to come to them. But here's the key thing about chemistry. Man, how many times already, especially in that Caps game, where they were sticking up for each other, already plenty of scrums, with guys getting each other's backs. I'll give you, for instance, Brassard jumping in when Provy took a run at Garnet Hathaway in the Caps preseason game on Saturday. That, to me, showed, and this is a new player coming in, it really showed that chemistry is really building with these new guys. Let me throw Cam Atkinson on that too, who's looked like peas and carrots fitting in with Oscar Lindblom, who set him up well in that Caps game, as well as Brassard centering that line. He's looked like he has that, I'm not going to go as far as saying that 40 goal scoring jump, but he looks fresh. He looks good. So I'm seeing a lot of these good things that, to me, great is sort of, a subjective term, but while the injuries certainly haven't been great, what I've seen on the ice has been.
Yeah, and it's not quite like football where you're, to an extent it is, where you're, just trying to get in shape and get some good shots in and do things to get your body ready, get your mentality ready, stuff like that during the preseason. A lot of these preseason games aren't even meant for chemistry. It's just to see where all these young guys that you're developing are, see who's ready, see who's not ready, and the chemistry will come. The chemistry will come in time. Some teams have the chemistry right off the bat. Some teams don't. It really, a good mixture of veteran leadership with younger talent actually helps, I feel like, build chemistry like that. And then you bring in guys like the Flyers did this offseason, and your chemistry is going to be there. How many guys came in with this? You know what I mean? So you're going to have that chemistry build quick. You're going to – guys like Broussard, like I haven't watched a lick of Flyers preseason. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. Tough for me to get it down here right now, but I will figure out a way to get regular season, I promise. It's just one of those instances where, some of the easiest things to build chemistry, to get these guys, really like believing in not just the system, but each other, is things like Derek Broussard getting involved in a scrum. Something as stupid and as funny as it is as Keith Yandel saying thank you to Carter Hart every time he settles a puck.
Thank you.
That stuff builds chemistry. That stuff builds camaraderie. These guys are obviously, it's like, you know what? We're not just going out for this. We're not just playing for this. We're playing for each other. Like, It says a lot. And to see that early on in the preseason, I think is going to be a very good sign for this team this season.
Yeah. Prism was saying Yandel will lead the league in politeness.
Already does.
I mean, not that I disliked that signing. It only added. I mean, I thought it was sort of an overkill at the time, but now I'm seeing it, man. I'm seeing what his role is going to be on this team. I have him projected to be a third pairing with Justin Braun, so you're not playing him a ton of minutes 5-on-5, and you're keeping those legs fresh so he can quarterback the power play until Cam York is ready to take a prominent, permanent role on, the NHL level. So, I mean, just what he brings in terms of that leadership, to your point, Brian, former, alternate captain in this league, as well as just a stand-up guy to, be doing something like that already has gone viral. Cam Atkinson kind of fits that bill as well. I don't know. Every season I come with positivity and hope, but I'm a little bit more hopeful than I have been.
Yeah, I gotcha.
No, Nathan, and that's great, because I think this offseason Chuck Fletcher has done a lot to really bring hope to this organization, to the fan base, based off of who they brought in. And to your point about Yandel, I don't see him playing a ton of 5-on-5. I could see him, definitely playing like power play 2. And I see him on the penalty kill because of the physicality that he can bring too. He's not just a guy who's gonna, he's there. He's a seventh defenseman. You're gonna rotate him in and out. He's gonna be a guy that's gonna play most of these games. He may get a day off here and there, but Yandel's going to be a guy that you're going to use in more for special teams than 5-on-5, and he's going to get the 5-on-5 time because you got to roll 3 pairings. But I think he's going to get a lot of use, and he's going to be extremely. He's going to have a huge benefit on the special teams because they hurt last year.
They did.
Right. And that leads me right to my next point, Brian, perfectly, right? Let's cut the dick sucking session off and attack what needs to be addressed. Maddie, you said it before, the special teams not looking good. Now I get it, it's choppy, you're trying some things. You can't have it, a pure barometer, but it hasn't been good. The power, actually, let me correct myself. The power play, especially against the Caps, actually looked pretty decent. But penalty kill, that's what I'm more preying upon here. But overall, 5-on-5, not getting a lot of the point production this preseason that you'd be expecting, especially with Frost coming. I know he's coming off the injury, and that's going to be a slow build. But I would have liked to seen him produce a little bit more coming into the second to last game. And now, I don't even think he played tonight. Let me see here. No, he did not. So going into the last preseason game, I think I'll have one opportunity to start to build up some momentum, because this is a guy, especially with Hayes being out to start the season, really needs to step up and be able to produce at a top 6 level.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. By the way, what's going on, Anthony?
What's up, man? It's been a while, brother.
He also went on to say, "I can't believe the Flyers against Boston had a lot of shots." Those are crazy matchups between the Bruins and the Flyers. Usually, either by them beating the shit out of each other or by trying to score on each other. It's usually wild.
Just
Kyle
like when just real quick, Maddie, when you referenced before when the Flyers went up to Boston and had their B team, Boston had their B team, maybe even their C team. So I was sort of gauging my expectations. Did we look good? Yes. Did we outshoot them almost 2-1? Yes, but you weren't getting the A squad from Boston Bruins in that game. So you got to keep that in mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Real quick, some breaking news coming out of the NFL. Dallas Cowboys just released Jalen Smith.
Rob?
For real? For real?
For real, for real.
What? That's
Coming from Bleacher Report.
Well,
it's actually technically coming from Adam Schefter, but Bleacher Report's reporting it. Jalen Smith been released by the Dallas Cowboys. Also, I have this stream for the Islanders game, or I should say for the Flyers game. It is actually being streamed.
Oh, off of Islanders website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's mud in my face. Apparently, I missed something.
We got Kyle Elliott chime in. He's saying all the money that Philly saves now paying Ben Simmons should go towards Gritty and the Fanatics prop budget. I agree wholeheartedly.
Well said, Kyle. Well said.
I mean, let's be honest here. Everything is improved with the presence of Gritty and the Fanatics. So, absolutely.
Listen, I'm all for that.
And
let's just trade that bum to LA. Let's just get this done and over with. I don't even care what you get back. I don't care if you get a ham and cheese back for Ben Simmons. Actually, just make it a cheese. He doesn't deserve ham.
The person saying the roster had to get overturned at some point. Then he was talking about Benny's point. Y'all got really good pieces in turnover as well. True. And Benny's response to that is, Priz, I like the moves. I just think it will take some time to gel. Gotcha. All right, then. So let's see here, guys. Now that we've, seen a few of these games, and Anthony's saying, I got my Flyers and Ducks ticks in Philly. Oh, interesting.
My God, that's what I'm talking about. You can wear your Ducks stuff? I got some stuff for you to borrow. I got plenty of stuff. I'll send it up to you, Ant.
Oh, no. Chris. What's up, John?
I don't even know how to.
You don't know how to respond.
What did I do to you?
That comment was cold-blooded.
We're gonna have a sit down after the show. I got to figure out what the hell I did. He's coming at my neck tonight. Damn.
Apparently,
so much so that Benny I'm sorry I wasn't texting you back. I was
over laughing. Apparently, so.
Jesus.
Hey, we got Noah chime in. Hey, Noah.
Hey, it's a Noah Eaton sighting. What's up, Noah?
Hey, Noah, what's going on, brother? Hopefully everything's going with you and the fam. He's saying might not even get a ham and cheese for Ben Simmons. That's a good point. Might not.
Noah just brings straight facts. And if you watched HUD Wednesday night this past Wednesday, he brings that straight fire, too. Had a great rant. Got a great rant on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bullshit. Bullshit, Priz. You didn't try to delete shit, motherfucker.
And Russ Williams saying, what's up, boys? What's up,
Russ?
What's going on, brother?
Welcome to the show.
All right. So, let's see here. Oh, no. Yes, I would Ben Simmons for a can of cooking spray.
Nah, too good for him. Because there's some really good stuff out there.
What about a sack of actual shit, like an actual turd in a paper bag?
Nah, it's still too good.
Still too much? Okay. All right. Anyway, I was saying, what's up, boys? I am well, thanks. Yeah, our Eagles look awful. Yeah.
They did look better on Sunday, which was good. I mean, they did a few things better. They're still not great, but They did look better, scored some more points. Offense was rolling on a few drives, so that was a plus side to see. Still need Jalen to make some plays. Jalen needs to start winning football games. The team can win without him, but he needs to be the reason why this team starts winning. They just missing too many plays. The Eagles could have won on Sunday, but I think because of a few plays that Jalen didn't make, cost them the game. What's up, double zeros? What about a turd in a paper bag? Yeah, that's pretty much what you said.
Yeah.
Can we light it on fire? Because then I think we may have a deal there, double zeros.
We just leave it on the doorstep of LeBron James if we're sending him to LA.
Sounds good. By the way, if you guys are on Twitch, you can also like and subscribe to us on Twitch as well. We are everywhere.
And let's see. Got Chris chiming in. What's up, Chris? Yo, boys. What's up, Chris? And he said, I would trade Ben Simmons for a bag of Twizzlers. Well,
no, Twizzlers are good.
At least you get the Twizzlers out of it. I'll give you that one. The Twizzlers are nice and satisfying at the end of the day, more than Ben Simmons' play. So
they got dual uses. You can eat them as candy, or you can bite off the ends and use it as a straw.
There you go. See? Nothing but benefits there.
You don't get no benefit from Ben.
Yeah. So maybe the D giving up 42 points had more to do with the loss.
No, of course, but you still put up 30, and they had two drives against the Chiefs where if Jalen made a couple more plays, better passes, could have led to touchdowns.
Noah's saying we need to play defense and maybe run the ball once in a while.
I mean, Benny and Noah, two great points. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with either statement, but I just think if Jalen made a couple more plays, this game could have been different. Yeah, John.
Yeah. John Bryan drinking a tasty Yingling, my guy. If we created ourselves an NHL 2K, we would be Chemo and me Pronger. Fuck Twizzlers, red vines for Ben.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we're talking.
But
John, always on the same page.
I mean, John, if you do make yourself Pronger, then that means you're best friends with Prism. So just keep that in mind. That's contractually obligated. Fuck Prism.
Maybe it's more like Swedish Fish because Ben Simmons is a vagina. How about that?
That's a good point.
He is definitely a vagina. Definitely vagina.
And Noah's saying, just like the Flyers need to play defense, give Carter Hart a chance. Thank you. And that's something I want to bring up, by the way. Defense actually didn't look all that bad when playing 5-on-5. However, like I said before, penalty kill, a little left to be desired for me personally. However, they did look good against the Islanders on that 5-on-5. They looked good against the Bruins when we had more of the A squad and their C squad. They didn't really. The B squad situation is a totally different story. But I thought the defense has been pretty decent. And I think that some of the players have been coming in that we brought in have been, making their presence felt. Ellis, Provy working together well. Like you were talking about before, Rob, Risto coming in, hitting immediately right off the bat. Like literally just drilling people. And it's funny because they did ask him, and Rasmus, he just simply said, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want people to hate me. So I was like, oh, good. We need someone to be hated on the Flyers. We've been needing a player like that for a couple seasons now. Thank you for being that guy.
Third period underway.
And even Ellis himself, for a smaller defenseman, brings a strong physical presence. Got a little too carried away when he gave a little too fist-handed punch in the face that got him a 2-minute in last night's game. But still like seeing that effort clearing the porch, taking the body. Risto's played so well that I haven't projected to play on the second pairing with Sanheim, which if he can keep up that level of play, that would be a gorgeous, gorgeous pairing. Gorgeous.
Where are the Islanders playing? Sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to cut you off.
In the Bridgeport Sound Tigers Arena.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay. Because the logo in center ice kind of threw me. I didn't register at first, and then they started trusting. But yeah, third period's underway. It's 2-0 Islanders. Flyers currently have possession, and they have it in deep, skating around, and they lost it. But anyway, I saw a few questions in the chat. So
skating around and they lost it. Just a great way to put that.
And it's gone.
But
it's like that one thing from South Park. Oh, you got $100 in your bank, and it's gone.
And for 00 saying, a lot of people I know are down on the Flyers, saying same old team. I disagree completely. Am I off Prism Channel? No. I think you're fine, man. I think you're on. I agree that, a lot of people who are down on the Flyers, I think a lot of it is still a bit of that nasty feeling that we had from last season, because that left such a bitter taste in everybody's mouth. But I would say, again, let's put that behind us. Yes, it was a shitty year. Yes, there were a lot of problems that got revealed about the Flyers, but Chuck Fletcher went out of his way to fix it. You know what I mean? And I think he has. I mean, that's the point. The Flyers, they're being streamed on the New York Islanders website because it's in Bridgeport, so they're not. It's not televised in the Flyers network because it's preseason.
Yeah, go to the Islanders website on NHL.com. That's where I'm currently watching it.
And Prism, yes, you do have a channel. You have a channel that has Chris Pronger videos, and all the shots you like to take at Brian are on there with him and Sarah next to each other.
Keep it up, Maddie. Keep it up.
Hey, listen, it's only
a 7-hour drive back up there. Keep it up.
Well, you said you wanted to see us when you came back up. I'm just making it easier for you.
Yeah, but when I come up and visit, it ain't going to be so pleasant.
I know it's not.
Settle down, boys.
By the way, John did have
Dad.
Great comment about Ben, by the way. Say, I'm just waiting for an Instagram model to come out and announce they got Ben Simmons pregnant. That's a good one. I like that one.
I mean, he does have a vagina. Look at the way he's handling this shit. He's not even letting his teammates come out and talk to him. Like, fuck Ben Simmons. Get him out of here. Wow. I usually don't curse this much online or on the show. Something's up.
Welcome to the party. Welcome.
I must be in a good mood tonight or something.
Well, welcome to our side. We have snacks. You'll enjoy. Trust me.
What kind of snacks? Hopefully not red vines.
No. We have Swedish fish.
And just a rundown tonight, fellas, of tonight's game. Being down 2-0. This is their lineup that they started tonight. Their top line was Brassard with Lawton and Forrester.
Okay.
Yeah, line number 2 is Nate Thompson with Connor Bunneman and Knack. Third line, Rupsoff with Ratcliffe and Sandine. And then fourth line, Cal O'Reilly, Garrett Wilson, and Jerry Mayhew, a bunch of journeymen that they're looking at for potential undressed taxi squad guys, that type of deal. On defense, they got Sanheim, Risto, Cam York, and Braun, and Clendenning, who actually looked pretty good, journeyman that's with this team that can maybe fill that seventh defenseman with Moran being down, is on the third pairing with Nick Seeler. And then Marty Jones started with Felix Sandstrom backing him up. So this is a game where they're really taking a look at their lower brow of their roster. They're down to 42 right now from today's cuts, which I'll get into a little more depth later on. I don't want to keep on rammering around about this, but this is to take a look at trying to slim that roster even down closer to what you'll see on opening night by this Friday, October the 8th, the final preseason game against the Capitals.
Yeah, and now that, speaking of that, let's see here. So let's take a look at some of the players that we've been impressed with, and players that you kind of been somewhat disappointed with in this preseason. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't. Oh yeah, Rob, what were you gonna say?
Don't forget, you brought up something that you wanted to discuss about Carter Hart, and I don't know if you actually fully elaborated on that. Do you recall?
No, I think it was about the defense. Playing in front of him more than Hart himself. But I do want to talk about Hart, though. Definitely want to talk about what I've been seeing from him. But yeah, so start things off with, guys, let's talk about some of the players that we've been really impressed by and this preseason. And guys that we either knew were going to impress us or guys that kind of came right the fuck out of nowhere and said, hi, I'm part of this organization too. I may be a phantom, but that doesn't mean I don't have potential. And also, any disappointments? Anybody that's kind of just been sitting back and just I'd like to see a little bit of something from you, whether it's a prospect or it's somebody who's going to be on the roster. But it's like, come on, man, show me a little something before the season starts. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a tiny bit, nothing crazy, So, gentlemen, throw it out there. Who do you think has been impressive to you, and who do you think has been a bit of a disappointment in this preseason?
Let me start with this, Maddie, because this is a guy that, I mean, not that I didn't look highly on him, but he's a 5th-round pick that we got in 2020, 135 overall. So my expectations weren't exactly through the roof. But the young 19-year-old Elliot De Noire, man, he's been looking good. Man, he's been aces in camp. He looked great last night versus Boston. Good offensive forecheck. Actually, got into a fight, really mixed it up, was really enjoying his first experience donning the Flyers sweater, playing with the big squad. So, I mean, the way he's been showing up in camp and what I saw from him in the last 2 games, I should say, he's panning out to be a steal, gentlemen. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, he's kind of been mine. And like I said, I haven't really gotten to watch much, but I've been hearing nothing but great things out of camp about this kid. And I didn't realize he was that type that was going to sit there and mix it up. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make the big squad, right? So the fact that he's willing to do all that.
They were down 1 goal at the time, too. It was really good timing for it.
No, that's great timing. Gives your team some energy. Like, if you're a player that's willing to do that right now, and a guy who's just pretty much drafted, last year, 2 years ago, something along those lines. But you got to do what you got to do to make the big squad, right? So,
yep.
I heard he's having a great camp. He's been good in some game situations, and a lot of people are starting to really take notice to this kid. So, yeah, I mean, to me, that's pretty impressive. And as far as my disappointment, I can't really answer the question. Again, haven't really watched enough to really give an answer. But Johnny, I don't want to say Rubtsov's been a bust, but I just don't think the Flyers are as high on him as they were. I think he's had some injury issues that's really held him back as far as his development goes. But like I said, as far as I know, I wouldn't necessarily call him a bust yet. But I know the Flyers aren't as high on him as they were.
I will say it did surprise me when I saw him showing up for training camp. I was like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't just leave him in Russia. But I guess maybe they weren't ready to give up on him. So
he's still under contract. He has to show up.
Well, yeah, but I'm just surprised that they didn't, send him away as soon as they could. They actually kept him around. So I guess that means that he's been showing them a little bit of something. But
he lied his way out of Russia, I tell you that much. Like, they weren't going to let him go. So I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But it was a little shady. But yeah, I was gonna say I was a little disappointed with him that taking that long journey and then really not showing up too much. I mean, Maxim Shishko, he had that 1 good goal, but I mean, he got his beak wet last year and hasn't really done too much to impress me. So I'll throw another name in the hat there. With Elliot, though, I mean, he's, it's not his time quite yet. I mean, he was actually just returned to Halifax in the QMJHL today. He's 19 years old, but you get an opportunity. You want to be noticed, Brian, and whether your timeline is this season or in a year or 2 years. Samu was a little quiet, but I mean, he was just drafted, so I get that a little bit. Another cool dude, man. This guy, Wyatt Wiley, man. Like that, when you're born with that name, man, you're either gonna be like a hockey bruiser or a boxer, man, because that's just straight up a strong ass hockey name right there. He's looked good in little spurts too, given some time, being an option on defense if we have some injury issues.
Yeah,
I mean, he either that or he's going to wind up chasing a roadrunner for the rest of his life. I mean,
Wiley,
yeah,
the Acme Industries' favorite customer.
But I would say, and he's actually one of the few guys who's had 2 opportunities to dress for the Flyers, which I think does say a little bit. Where it's like, okay, he's had a couple of preseason games, as opposed to somebody like a Zamula or a Sushko who we've only seen once, and they scored goals. So it's like, they must really like what Wiley's doing defensively because they've had him start in 2 games. It's like, all right, they must really like this kid. He must bring something to the table. But and Larry saying we're going to need 30-plus goals from Konechny and Farabee. Now, I want to bring this up. Farabee has looked great in the preseason. He's gotten power play goals. He looks like, I really hope that this is an early sign that he's about to have a really massive year in terms of goal scoring, because if that's the case, I think we found a sniper. And then on terms of Konechny, I was actually disappointed with him for a while because he kept getting penalized and he wasn't doing shit. And it's like, God damn it, Konechny. I know what you're capable of. Stop it. Stop making it hard for me to like you. Stop it. He did get an assist, though, in the previous game against Boston. So I was hoping for an assist or a goal from him in this preseason to hopefully hit that shit going. And it's like, all right, got a positive thing now entered in. You're not sitting in the box. So hopefully that's where we're going. I know it seems like I'm going to have a big microscope on him and Martin Jones. And the reason why I'm going to have a microscope on Martin Jones is because I pray to God he's a solid backup. But, and then at the same time, too, for a guy like Konechny, it's a different story. It's like, I want this kid to reach his potential with Philadelphia. I don't want him to be the second Braden Shen, where he's got to go somewhere else to achieve his potential. It's like, we know what he's capable of. It's like, come on. I know it's preseason. I know, don't get overreacting to it. It's just coming off of the bubble and the season he just had, microscopes on him, in my opinion, at least for me, to see that he shows me something.
Yeah, for sure. And another guy I've been impressed with is, and it's a name that Rob brought up earlier, was Risto. Just from the little bit that I've watched in his third period here, he's all over the place. And I mean that in a good way. He's skating, he's pumping those legs, he's putting his body into others. He's playing like the Risto of old, with his first couple of years in Buffalo. He's another guy that you could wind up using on the power play, probably on the second unit. But another guy, using his physicality, his grit to his advantage, his size to his advantage. And he's got a guy pinned to the boards right now in the offensive zone, and I think he just stole the puck too. So I think that's him. I can't tell. The numbers are like that big. But still, if that is him, that's great because, you're going to need that one defenseman who can, and he does have the offensive ability where he can squeeze up front and maybe pinch off an offensive rush and keep the puck in the defensive zone and create some offensive opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and other players that have impressed me, in terms of goaltending wise, Hart's looked fine. But I wasn't. Sorry. What's up?
Gone. 3-0 Red Sox.
Oh shit! Solo shot.
Schwarber.
Nice.
Schwarber just absolutely he demolished that pitch. Haha, fuck you, Yankees.
Are they playing in Boston or are they playing in New York?
No, they're Fenway. They're in Boston.
Oh, okay. But yeah, in terms of goaltending wise, I like what I've seen from Hart. I mean, the only one negative thing I could point out was that Hart didn't jump on a puck in the last game when he should have, which was on the penalty kill. He made it hit the post, came right in front of him. He didn't dive out and get it. So that's the only real negative thing I can point out from him. And if that's the only thing I can bring up, that's something you can fix easy. So that really, if anything, I've really been fine with Hart's play. Nothing bad at all really to say. And then on top of that, Urson looked fine in the one game he played. He didn't look all that bad against the Islanders. And Sandstrom looked fine too. Jones, I was a little worried when he let that softie in Boston. I was like, oh, God, no. Please, God, no. Don't tell me we're going to get last year's Martin Jones where he's going to let in fucking softies left and fucking right. He's going to have a beach ball imposed behind him. But he did play well in the next game in against Washington. So I'm a little bit more like, okay, take a step, take a deep breath. It's preseason. Relax. Sorry. It's just I just have so little faith in Martin Jones anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm going to switch back to baseball here real quick. In what world, with Kyle Schwarber at the plate, do you throw him a fastball chest high in one of the smallest ballparks in all of Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
to quite possibly the smallest point in the ballpark as well.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsies, right.
Don
You
and
hate
Prism
to
are now
see
fighting
it.
each other because
You
Don
hate to
Don's gone.
see it.
Don
I
saying,
do a little
Jesus
bit. I
Christ,
do a little
Red
bit.
Sox. And then Prism's response was, Don, didn't you pick the Yankees? And Don Don's response is, Prism, I don't want to talk about it.
Evil Empire, man. $1 billion. This goes to show you cannot buy championships. You
Prism
gotta
saying
have some
Yeah.
kind of homegrown talent. Which I'll
Prism
be honest, the
saying that
Yankees do, but
the Panthers and the Lightning apparently got into a fight. Gudis apparently punked Colton, and Bennett got tossed like a rag doll, and there was a literal dog pile.
Nice. Yeah,
There's
this
a pile of
preseason's
dogs
been
out there?
fierce, man.
Priz, I think you mean figurative dog pile, not a literal dog pile. Literal dog pile would mean there's a pile of dogs out there.
Well, maybe he meant. Well, wait a minute. Are they playing in Florida? Are they playing in Sunrise? Because if they're playing in Sunrise, maybe he meant a rat pile. That might have been what he meant. Anyway.
Pile of shit.
Hell, it's gross.
But this preseason has been very chippy, and it's interesting because playing a lot of hockey in close proximity.
Yeah, and I think this.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of it has to do with what stemmed from last year as well. So he said who's playing Florida and Tampa?
I think so.
I don't know. Florida and
Because if
Tampa.
it's Florida and
the
Tampa,
fight.
they
Yeah,
still have
yeah.
they still have some feistiness and some bad blood from the postseason last year. So these teams are so familiar with each other that the preseason is going to be chippy. A lot of these teams still have bad blood. Like if it's Panthers Lightning, Panthers still have that. We don't like how you took us out last year, and it's going to get a little chippy. But especially if you take a cheap shot at Colton Ross, who's a young guy who's legitimately actually won the Stanley Cup for the Lightning. You're going to see it. You're going to see it.
What you mean? Gudis escalated something into some fisticuffs? Huh? No,
I don't believe
never.
that one
Gudis
bit.
is a freaking saint out on the ice. When he was
Never
in Philadelphia,
happened.
he was pleasant.
John, that's a great question.
Oh, what about Miller Park? Yeah.
Nah, what's one stadium you need to visit that you haven't? I
Well,
got to mine.
What one was that?
Fenway.
Nice.
That was the one I've always wanted to go to, and I got to go there a few years ago, and it was a Red Sox Yankee game, which was absolutely awesome.
Nice.
A little pushing and shoving in the Flyers game here with about, let's say, 8 minutes to go here in the third. Flyers still down 2-0.
So I would say, for me, there's a couple. I would like to go see. I actually would like to go and see the Flyers play the Rangers at the Garden. I know that I would have to deal with Rangers fans, but I can survive.
Oh yeah, you got to go.
Yeah,
to the Garden.
like it's no big deal. And then, I mean, crazy enough too, I would go out to Pittsburgh and would watch the Flyers take on the Penguins. There's actually a good chance the Flyers will win that game anyway, since we do win in Pittsburgh often. So I actually wouldn't be too upset about that.
Maddie, I'd like to take in a Penguins game and a Pirates game out there. I hear great things about PNC Park out there. I think that's on my bucket list for baseball. But I wouldn't mind doing a little twofer in the spring.
Oh
that
yeah,
fun. That sounds a lot of fun.
So I got to ask Rob a question real quick. Was Garrett Cole on the Astros roster when they won the World Series back to back?
I think so. I believe so. Well, they didn't win back. You talking 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was, because I think this is his third season as a Yankee. So I think he signed for the 2000. I'll look this up in a second, but yeah, I want to say that was his last year in Houston, and then he signed with the Yankees the following year.
Yeah, he just got pulled. They chased him.
That's it.
John was saying, I'm going to the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas for the second time, but it's once again for a UFC fight, not a hockey game. That would be an interesting arena to go to, though, for a hockey game, to see that environment for the Golden Knights, since it's been nothing but positives out there for that arena and the kind of volume that they produce and everything like that for the team. And they do have that big spectacle. It is Vegas, after all, so you're going to have that. So that would be interesting to go down there, or to go down there. What's wrong with my geography? Anyway, go down there.
I'm so used to saying up there for Jersey. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Down here for home. Where's your home? Oh, I'm up. Sorry, down. Left, right. I don't know. But
diagonal.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to go to the Garden, but I kind of hear it's not the greatest for hockey. It's better for basketball.
No, I disagree. I think it's great for both.
Like I said, I haven't been there. I'm just going based off of what I heard.
I got you.
And then my final.
Or no, sorry, it was Brooklyn. Never mind.
Now I will say this though. I would say too. I would want to go to Toronto or Montreal to see the Flyers take on the Canadiens or the Maple Leafs, only because hockey, you kind of have to see a game in Canada, just because that's going to be a wild fucking crazy matchup.
Oh fuck yeah!
The tickets will be out of this fucking world expensive, but
worth it. Hey Bryant, real quick, I was wrong. He was still in Pittsburgh in 2017 when they won the World Series. He came to Houston the following year for 2 seasons, and then signed in the off season between 19 and 20 for the Yanks. So the pandemic year was his first season with the Yankees. I didn't realize that. I thought he was with them a year prior to that.
So he didn't win a World Series with the Astros.
He did not.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, don't you? Because the Red Sox won it in 2018. Who won
and
it?
Then the Astros went back the next year, didn't they?
Was it? Did the Ash? No. If they did, they didn't win it though.
Right. Because I think that was the year that the Dodgers won it, right? It was 2018.
No, the pandemic year, 2020.
Pandemic year. So who would have won it in 18? I'm blanking.
Well, Nationals, that's right. Nationals, when they started off so poorly and came back and won it in 19.
What year did the Cubs win?
16.
16? Okay, so that was a year before 17. Okay.
Yeah, and the Red Sox beat the Dodgers in 18, yeah.
Uh-huh. What year did Kansas City win? Was that 15?
15, yeah.
I keep going backwards. I'm trying to go forward. But no, I'm fine with Garrett Cole never winning, signing that $324 million contract to play 1 day out of 5, sometimes 7 a week. Oh, yeah. All right, double zeros. Good call. It was Washington that beat the Astros.
Yeah.
The Nationals in 2019. That's who I was thinking of. Okay.
Yep.
So, double zero says, can we talk about Lou Lamoriello, GM of the Islanders? Why does the rest of the NHL have to give out contract numbers, but the New York Islanders don't have to? We still don't know the numbers on Zach Parise.
I don't know if Zach Parise is officially signed yet. I think that's why the numbers haven't been officially announced yet. They announced all the numbers for Ilya Sorokin and Kyle Palmieri and the other 2 guys they signed. I just don't think Zach Parise ever actually signed a contract with the Islanders. I think he's still a free agent, unless it's a PTO. But then they don't actually have to announce anything that he's actually there on a professional tryout.
Now, double zeros.
I'm going to look that up real quick.
While you do that, double zeros did have a very this was an important thing to address, and I was going to address this on the show because of it being a big news. So he goes on to say, so there's a report AV is pushing pills, but no updates on the Blackhawks organization or the scumbag Blackhawks organization. And while I have not heard any updates on that, on the investigations on that, by the way, for investigations reasons, Evander Kane was not found guilty of betting on his own games. Still investigating on other shit, but there was that. So he was found not guilty of that. Doesn't matter, though, that he probably still shouldn't be on the Sharks because it's still too much of a distraction and players don't want him back. But
just real quick to clarify, though, Lanier didn't come out and accuse AV of pushing pills. He included him in that tirade, but he said he's a dinosaur. He treats his players poorly like robots, right? That was the main accusations from him. But the way he brought it up in there, it was like he was insinuating that. So do me a favor, Robin Lanier, keep Philly and AV out your fucking mouth. That's all I'm saying.
He's going to get himself into trouble.
I do support there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and to bring awareness, because you got to believe there's pill pushing going on in terms of players dealing with injuries rather than turning towards like holistic stuff like body check wellness offers or cannabis straight up, right? Freaking. So I don't want to be ignorant that that's not going on, and I applaud him for trying to bring awareness to that. But you're coming up where it's like a very Trevor Bauer type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Benny's Nation going on to say, you think Patrick had some influence? Yes, he absolutely had influence on these comments.
Okay. The robot? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He did agree to a contract. It's not a PTO, but they didn't disclose the terms.
Gotcha.
Probably something that was probably done between the agent and organization. I think they may have the ability to do that, to not disclose the terms, but I mean, I saw him do it with the other four, so I don't know why they wouldn't do it with Parisi, but it is what it is. I thought maybe it was because he was on a PTO. I actually never saw him actually sign, but really he did.
Yeah, but I believe Patrick definitely had some influence, because he even said on one of his little on one of his tweets, he said, "Oh, just speaking for a friend or heard it from a friend." I'm like, okay, so you're talking to Patrick, and Patrick's shitting on AV because Patrick didn't like playing for AV. Which, again, it's one of those things of, okay, if this is actually going on, this isn't your spot to bring this up. This is Patrick's spot to bring it up. And Patrick should. There's no reason why he shouldn't. He shouldn't feel like he couldn't. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you're not even in that organization anymore. And I get it. You're worried that maybe the NHL will crack down on you. So, Lanier doesn't give a shit. He's never given a shit. He's been very open about his opinions before. So it doesn't matter to him. But I would still say this right now that, well, also Fletcher did come out and say that the coach has no way of giving out those, only the medical staff can, which of course he's going to say that. But it's one of those things of Patrick, and he also said he had proof.
Ooh, good save.
Apparently. I'm like, Lanier, if you had proof, you would have said it. Don't fucking act. Don't do that bullshit of, oh, I have proof. You can't shake your way off of that. Shut up. Because the moment you say that, that's bullshit. First off, what Patrick says is not necessarily gospel, but it may be true. And the problem is that unless Patrick brings forth these accusations and he shows actual proof to a lawyer and they actually sue, then there's no actual trial. There's nothing going on. You're just saying shit. There's no way to prove it.
I don't think Patrick has anything to do with this. Robin Lanier has been around for a very long time. And the initial pill pushing that he said, it was in Buffalo.
But he included AV in it, and I feel like it's like, okay, you're including AV in this, so clearly Patrick has to have something to do with it. Because
he's a guy who's been around in the league for a long time. He's been around. You don't think he knows anything about any other coaches in the league?
I'm sure he does, but again, it's like, but he named AV and AV only. He didn't name anybody else. So it's like, it's almost like a
old school type of coach, not because he's doing anything else. He's an old school coach. There's not many of them anymore. He's one of the last few in a dying breed. You don't think anybody's saying anything about Laviolette? Laviolette's the same style of coach. He's a hard ass.
AV came out and he didn't mix words. He goes, no. I demand a lot out of my players. That's well known. That's well documented. You know what I mean? But
right.
but to throw me up in this, he goes, I really don't know what to say. That's so unfounded. But I get that maybe some people could think, well, the robot term sounds so much like it came out of Patrick's mouth. That's the only thing I'm saying, Brian, for that credo. But I agree. You know what I mean? Lanier's been around. He knows what's what. Exactly.
And that's kind of my point. Like, he's been around. I don't think he's seen coaches or heard coaches on the bench. He's been around a very long time, and he may not have gone about it. He definitely didn't go about it the right way. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to agree with both of you. He didn't go about it the right way. But I don't necessarily think Patrick is out there in Las Vegas talking shit on AV because Patrick never wanted to be a Flyer in the first place. It just so happened he fell to the Flyers in the draft. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's necessarily shit talking anybody. I think he's just happy to be out. And I'm not even going to sit here and try and speculate that he's out there talking shit. Because we don't know. Like I said, Robin Lenaire's a vet in the league. He's been around. He hears coaches. He sees coaches. He sees things. He's not an idiot as much as he comes off, but like you said, there's no proof to anything.
Yeah, there's no proof to this. No matter where you're saying you're getting your proof from, it's like if you don't come out and say you have proof and then not show it. It's like, come on, man. Now you're acting like you know what you're talking about when you may very well not know what you're talking about. And again, just because your friend tells you something, listen, I understand trusting your friends or listening to what they have to say or saying like, yeah, I get you, man. Like that sucks. And you believe them because they're your friends. You don't want to believe they're lying to you, but it can happen. A friend could be blowing smoke and fucking saying, or venting and saying shit that's not true and just be pissed at somebody. It could easily be
he could have the
like
proof.
that.
We don't know. We don't know. And he could be waiting for the perfect moment to sit there and be like, here you go.
Now,
otherwise, if he doesn't, by the way, it's 3-0 now. Islanders just scored.
Okay. But again, it's not to discredit that the possibility isn't there. It is. The possibility is definitely there. It's just one of those things of, listen, you're hearing it from other people. You yourself have never played for AV. You've only heard it. You've only heard it.
Again, it doesn't matter. He's a guy that's been around.
I get it.
He doesn't necessarily have to have played for him to know.
He's
played for Buffalo for how long? So he's been around for AV.
It's one of those things of, unless you really know what it's like, unless you've experienced it, how do you, honest to God, know that it's the truth? You know what I mean? Like, yes, a lot of people do say it. I'm not saying that there isn't, but at the same time, it's like you haven't played for AV. It's like you don't really know what it's like to play for AV. Yes, maybe
he doesn't really need to know, Matty, because he played for Buffalo for so long, and AV's been in this division for how long? Especially with the Rangers, you don't think he's been paying attention?
But you don't think that players could have a grudge against him and saying
some
shit
do?
about
I'm sure
him?
they do. I totally believe that some do. But again, it's a situation where, again, he's been in the league for so long. These guys are familiar with coaches and how they do things. It doesn't matter if you played for him or not. Nobody likes playing for Torts. Everybody knows the type of coach Torts is. Why? Because of playing against him for so long. Especially teams that are in the same divisions. You know what I mean? You get familiar with coaches, even if you haven't played for them. By the way, it's a 3-0 final. Flyers lose this one in Bridgeport, wherever that is. New York? Bridgeport, upstate New York?
Bridgeport,
upstate. Yeah, upstate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Benny's saying AV does have a reputation of being tough on young players, which is why I put some stock in Patrick opening his mouth. Prism saying, more importantly, why is Lanier standing on other men's 2 feet for them saying this? Why are these guys not saying it themselves? Just curious.
Because he's an asshole and he's gonna. He doesn't care. He has no filter. It's not the first time.
Yeah. Exactly. You know that, right?
In the end, though, we really can't say whether or not. And listen, and he's saying you can't just dismiss someone with constant "he's been around" line. Nolan Patrick is a depressed robot. He's Ben Simmons with a lot of talent in All-Star games.
Without the talent in All-Star games.
But again, we don't know what Nolan Patrick's saying.
I like.
We don't even know if he's going to even brought it up.
This is a new fave of mine. Well done.
But
he's not wrong in the second half of that. I'll tell you that. But I mean, again, we don't know if Nolan Patrick's even the one who opened up his mouth. So to even speculate that he's the one just because it's AV, it's not fair to Nolan Patrick. He could be, but again, we don't know. So I'm not going to sit there and say that he's the one talking. My thing is going to be that he has been around. He's familiar with AV because he's been around New York. How many times a year? He's been playing against AV how many times a year? Being a Buffalo Sabre? Teams get familiar with coaches. Players get familiar with coaches whether or not they're playing for them or not. You could just tell by hearing them on the bench.
As I'm saying, my point is I wouldn't want another dude fighting my battles for me.
And I agree. I'm 100% behind that.
John is saying I bought my tickets for the Flyers versus the Golden Knights. Oh God,
I'm jealous, bro. I'm jealous, dude.
That's yeah. If there wasn't any if there wasn't any gasoline on the fire between Philly and Vegas, there certainly is now. And he's saying, "Sweet John, hope you have a great time." Yeah, I could imagine he will. But
and then he's going out for his boys' fight too. Woo!
Yeah. And Tom's saying, "My boys, what's up, Tom?"
Exactly, Benny. Yeah, we're both speculating. We're arguing two different sides of the quarter here.
Yeah, and it's true. You know, it's all speculation. We don't know. We're not investigators. We haven't been hired by the NHL to do anything. So we don't know any details. We don't know what conversations are going on. We don't know if any all details have been disclosed, you know, or any HIPAA violations have been found. But the point is that, you know, like the point is that in the end we're all speculating here. We're seeing this from certain angles, you know, and of course, naturally, people are going to either get defensive or offensive when these kind of comments come out. So the best thing to do is to look at this and say, well, if there's proof, then maybe the NHL needs to take a look at something that could be going on under their watch. Also, one of the guys I follow on YouTube brought up a good point. The NHLPA should step in, because that's the union that represents the players. And if there's pill pushing going on, that needs to be addressed by the union. And it needs to be said, yo, that can't happen. That shit's got to stop. You know?
If there's anything like that, yeah, absolutely. NHLPA needs to step in and be like, what's going on here, guys? If he's got the proof, go to the NHLPA. Go to the NHL. Go get it taken care of. Like, that's – if pill pushing's happening in Buffalo – it could be the reason why they all suck. It could be the reason why Jake. Oh yeah, Jake. Wow, Jack Eichel is not Jack Eichel, and why he's having the injuries that he's had, and it's just the whole organization's a mess to begin with. But if there's anything like that happen in Buffalo, that could be massive. That could be massive. But yeah. I mean. Greg.
No,
they're just Buffalo. Tommy, what's up? I saw your comment in there. I miss you, brother. Yeah, Maddie did say HIPAA.
I did. You don't work, you know, in pharmacies for, 4 years not to learn that.
Caught me off guard. Yeah, I mean, it's all speculation. Robin Lehner does have a reputation of running his mouth. I don't see Nolan Patrick being the type of guy who's going to sit there and run his mouth. So the reason why I'm taking the other side of it is because of I like to give guys the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason not to. And Robin Lehner is the type of player that has given me a couple of reasons not to. So, again, that's kind of why I'm taking that side of it and saying that maybe Nolan Patrick isn't running his mouth and Robin Lehner is just doing what Robin Lehner does. But he also doesn't have a filter, and he can't justify a lot of the things that come out of his mouth, whether or not you agree with it or not.
True.
And we have not yet.
No, we have not talked about this. So, yeah, Jack Eichel did get the C taken away from him in Buffalo, which, to be fair, with the situation going on, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's getting to it's a pissing contest at this point. Who's going to blink first? It's really coming down to this, where it's like, boy, this is one of those situations like, boy, man, if Jack Eichel never plays another game for the Buffalo Sabres, this is a very, very Buffalo way for his career in Buffalo to end. This is a very Buffalo way to end his run.
I mean, it's kind of messed up. I don't exactly agree with it. You drafted the guy to be the face of the franchise, and a lot of the times with your face of the franchise, you're giving him the C. And I know he's disgruntled. Him being disgruntled has nothing to do with being unhappy with the organization. He wants to get healthy. And the organization is not letting him get healthy. And I understand why, but in that same breath, sometimes you have to take a risk with a player. And I know you don't want to lose him, but right now he's not playing like Jack Eichel. He's not. I don't think they should have stripped the C. All they're doing right now is giving him reasons to say, trade me now. Because he can go anywhere else to get C.
That. He's already blasted that on Twitter. I see that regularly.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, trade me now. Like, I'm not playing for you guys, period.
Hold out. Yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, to be fair, though, you kind of, when you look at it from Buffalo's point of view, you know, I guess they're looking at it from the standpoint of, well, why should we have the C on the guy that's not even showing up? You know, it's like a guy who, you know, wants out anyway. So it's like, why should we even let the C stay on? Let's just give it to somebody else who wants to play here. Yeah, you know, so
I think Kevin Adams says something along the lines, and this is 2 weeks ago now, so I'm going to try and paraphrase as best I can off the top of my head. He said the guy that wears our C is a guy who is willing to put his heart out on the line and play. Oh fuck! What did he say? Hang on, give me a second. Let me look it up.
All right,
I want to make sure I get it right.
While he does that, Double Zeros did say, did Buffalo just go down the drain when Danny and Drury left? Yes.
Pretty much.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. Once Briere left, Chris Drury left, they still had Vanek for a little while, but not too much longer. Miller, he was around for a little bit while longer, but the team started going down the shitter the moment that, you know, ironically, when Miller got better, the team kept getting worse. I felt so bad for Ryan Miller. That poor guy wasted so many good years of his career. I mean, at least he was there when they had some playoff runs. At least there was that saving grace for Ryan Miller.
Okay, here we go. I got it. This is from NBC2WGRZ.com. So this is from Kevin Adams, and I quote, as of now, we are in a situation where we have a player that is resistant to what our experts are saying. We're going to continue to trust what our medical doctors tell us, which is in the best interest of Jack as a human being and as a hockey player. He goes on to say, I spoke with Jack 2 days ago. I spoke to the team yesterday and addressed this. Jack is no longer the captain of the Buffalo Sabres. From our perspective, the captain is your heartbeat of your team, and we are in a situation where we felt we needed to address that and make that decision. But in that same breath, I understand what he's saying. But in that same breath, you're not allowing him to do what he feels necessary to get himself back to 100%.
True.
I would be disgruntled by that. You're not allowing me to be the player that I want to be by not letting me get an operation that could help me become the player that I was instead of the player that I am, the player that I know I can be. What's up, Joey?
Hey, Joey.
You know what I mean? It's a mess up situation, but I'm kind of siding with Eichel on this one. Like, I think it was a wrong move to strip him, and I think it's a wrong move for the Sabres to keep doing what they're doing and not letting him get the procedure. I understand they want to trust their medical staff, but don't you think you should trust your former team captain, your number one pick, the face of your franchise?
At this point, I think Buffalo is pretty much over it. I don't even think they consider Jack their freaking face of their franchise anymore. Like, fuck it, that era's over. No. He's not coming back. I really honestly think they're done with it. Yeah,
he is the heartbeat of that organization, though.
He is. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying it's a smart move. I'm just saying that at this point, I think they're just so tired of it that they're just like, fuck it. This guy doesn't want to play for us, so you know what? Screw him. And I'm not saying that that's the smart move. That's a very petulant way of looking at it. But, you know, it's Buffalo. When have they made logical decisions in the last decade? Never.
True.
So
True. However, Jack is saying that he wants out because he wants to get the procedure done, and Buffalo's not allowing him. It's the only reason he wants out. It's not that he doesn't want to play for the Sabres.
Right.
No. The Sabres are not allowing him to get healthy. They're not allowing him to get back to 100%.
And I agree. And that's why I don't necessarily think that the Sabres are without guilt here. I think the Sabres are trying to come off as, oh, well, this guy just doesn't want to play for us. Like, well, you did have a part to play in this. You know, it's not like your hands are completely clean here. You're just as guilty as he is of having some kind of malfunction here and a miscommunication. You guys aren't working together. And you clearly know they're not. I mean, it's so much that Eichel wanted to get traded so bad he fired his one agent to bring in a new one to see if it could guarantee a trade, and it still didn't happen because, I mean, no team's going to bring a player in, even though how talented he is, if he's got to go get a surgery right off the bat. Why the fuck would you do that? That's kind of dumb when the asking price is going to be so high. But, you know, and I'm not saying Buffalo's wrong in their asking price. They're absolutely not wrong in that either. So...
Freaking Jack Eichel.
Yeah. Benny's saying this is a perception problem in Buffalo. You already have a tough time getting FAs to commit because you're in Buffalo. This is not going to help. No, you're right.
Benny's spot on.
Came on saying here. What's up, Kayman?
It's just an ugly situation. What's up, Kayman? Oh, I saw Albert in here
rolled
too.
in like the Wyatt family. Came on.
WWE is such a joke. But anyway, that's a whole conversation for another day.
That's all other.
We'll keep it rolling with hockey.
Well, that's soon to be an Impact product.
Yeah.
Who? Why am I blanking on his name? Wyatt.
Yeah, Braun or is what Adam Scher is there now. So that's the rumor.
I'm surprised they're not going to AEW. They're usually scooping up all the guys that have just been released.
I think reinvention. I think that might be the reason why.
But anyway, yeah, it's an absolute perception problem. I agree.
Prism saying Jack to Seattle for Bernier. Straight up, Jack gets a year off and Seattle gets a tank for Shane Wright. No, because the Sharks should tank for Shane Wright.
No, because the Sharks are going to be better than Anaheim. Anaheim needs to tank for Shane Wright. Franchise changer, Shane Wright.
He is. That's why. Yeah.
Go. I'm in rare form tonight. I love it.
And Benny's saying, why not let him get the procedure? You're not competing this year anyway. Buffalo.
Because it's considered experimental, and they don't know if it's actually going to help.
Yeah, it's not been approved or what have you. And at the same time, too, I think also there's a principle in it. I don't think Buffalo wants to give in. They don't want to give in to Jack Eichel because I guess it makes them look weak, even though they've been a fucking joke for the last decade now.
He's gonna miss a lot of time with the procedure. It's experimental procedure. They don't know if it's going to work 100%, but it's still a better situation where if you just do what the medical staff is saying to do, which I'm not 100% sure what they're telling him to do, or if they're just trying to let it heal on its own, that Jack Eichel is ever going to wind up being the same player that he was. Because he's not the same player. He's not as elusive and elite as he was. Because he's not 100%.
Yeah,
Shut up, Don. I love you, brother.
Detroit. Ben saying they have no choice. When you're in Buffalo, you have to eat shit. And Greg saying he's also a veteran who has a small window left. So in terms of why him versus others, why not? He gets blacklisted, then fine. No skin off his back. He could be doing this for to save them from doing it and ruining their career. So God complex.
Yeah, that's back on that's back on the Lanier versus the Pills versus AV versus everything. I mean, it's a great point by Greg. He could be. Absolutely could be. Just by doing it this way. I mean, he could be facing some bigger issues moving forward because of it, but it's a sticky situation, and I hope Lanier knows what he's possibly getting himself into.
Now, apparently,
this right here is a sticky situation.
Now, apparently, the NHL and Lanier were going to meet, so we'll see what comes of that. If Lanier puts out some cryptic tweet, then I think okay, it didn't go well. Now, if it comes to where we don't hear anything moving into the regular season, all right, that went very well because he stopped talking for the time, and then he'll bring it up somewhere else down there.
It could wind up be a cryptic tweet going either way, and either way may not be good for him.
Nope. Albert's saying straight fire. What's up, Albert?
Albert, my guy. It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah, let's see here. So now that we've talked about that stuff, Prism saying Shane Wright on the same line with Cole Caulfield. I agree.
You're just doing everything wrong tonight, bro. Just doing everything wrong tonight.
Although Double Zero is just taking a shot at Rob here. Do you really have a Christmas tree up, dude? Come on, it's only October 5th.
That's not a Christmas tree. It's just the palm tree with lights, brother. It's good ambiance, you know.
I thought
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to put it right there, right where the guitar is. I'm going to have to find a new spot for the guitar, though.
It's all year round, baby.
Get a nice little like fern or something, like a ficus, because a ficus is fun to say.
A ficus with lights.
Get a nice little fake ficus, put some lights on it, get some nice ambiance, especially when you have the ladies come over.
Are you going to? Are you gonna have? Are you gonna have like the blinkers, or are you gonna have it just be a solid color that can change if you hit a button?
I'm probably gonna have it on a different thing, so I can get a different thing going every night.
Okay, then I gotcha.
Depending on my mood. Depends on what the mood is. Nice and slow. Get the lady over. Get the nice little.
There you go.
Bright to dark.
Dim. Yes.
Bright to dark.
The mood setter. Gotcha. That's
set the mood, baby. Let's go.
Don. That's not a Christmas tree. That's Bob Marley's favorite strain.
Now you're picking up what I'm putting down.
420, bitches. No.
That's right. Let's go.
All right. So
420 somewhere.
Yeah, it always is. But so
I still respect the comment 00. Like you're still on fire in my book.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, now that we have talked about two of the bigger things that's going on outside of the Flyers, overall, you know, from looking at our final look at the preseason, you know, what are some of the things that you thought that really stood out to you, you know, not just individual performance, but as a team, what stood out to you, what didn't stand out to you, but something that you want to change up here a little bit as we go forward?
I'll jump in and say I love the play of Derek Brassard, man, coming in. And actually that whole line, I've seen it put together a couple times while I've been watching with Oscar and Atkinson. You know, that could be a sneaky line here that keeps this team afloat while Kevin Hayes is out. That's really stood out to me. And just like I said, the overall, you know, playing aggressively. They were way too passive, and I'm seeing a lot of aggression. And I think what you're seeing is the benefit of a full regular camp that's very befitting of an AB system because he runs good practices. He demands a lot of his players, as what we talked about before in the Linaire issue. But having that time right now, you're seeing the benefit. You're seeing the benefit in the younger players. Knack has played well. I'm not going to say he's played great, but he's played better than when we last saw him last season. And you brought this up, Maddie. For me, Farabee is just looking like he's about to blow up. Like, absolutely. And I think he's been the biggest benefactor of this full camp.
Absolutely.
He just plays so big, so tough on the puck. And that plays in any era of hockey.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Farabee, you know, I love this kid. It's like, man, I see that. You know, I will say one negative thing is we didn't get to see Allison. I know we knew this going in. It's just, man, if it comes to it where Allison shows that he's got some skill, then maybe you can have him and Farabee on the same line. Ooh, that could be nice. If Allison's skill level's that high, Farabee being a guy who seems to always find the back of the net, and Allison, the guy who will work his ass off to make sure that Farabee gets a shot, or he himself can get an opportunity. God damn, that could be dangerous moving forward if that winds up being the case.
I want to see the power play really start taking shape because we're seeing some stars in the making here potentially with the power play. Seeing Farabee starting to heat up. Still got Couturier, still got Giroux. You got Brassard, who could be very under the radar type of power play star. I think he's a better special team specialist than 5-on-5 player anyway, especially at the age he's getting to, which isn't really all that old. But I in order for this team to really have success and take that next step forward and make a deep run in the playoffs, it's got to be that special teams that really takes off and wind up finishing in the top 10 on both sides. You don't have to finish top 5. Finish top 10. It's good enough. It's how you win some games. Some of these tighter games that, you know, a little bit more physical, you know, guys that, you know, aren't giving up a ton, but they're taking the stupid penalties. That's the best way to make teams pay is making it hurt on the power play. And you can win games on the penalty kill too. So if you can figure out a way to get in the top 10 on both sides, I think this Flyers team could be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, that'd be a tremendous upgrade from last year when you're talking about a team that finished middle to bottom of the pack in both respective areas. And I think Keith Yandle is going to be a big part of that. Just having that sense of when, like knowing when to shoot it in that open lane from the point and when to pass it off, like we saw that gorgeous pass to Sean Couturier on the power play last game. It just having that awareness, that sense is going to be immeasurable, even if he's not as quick as your prototypical quarterback, of the power play at this stage of his career.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And again, that's one of those things that just absolutely they absolutely have to get back into shape. And again, yeah, we're gonna go back to something we were talking about earlier in the show, and that's reinventing the defense here, and that's why you bring these guys in. Ryan Ellis is an incredibly talented two-way player, so he's going to be able to help out on both sides. He's probably going to take the bulk of the minutes, like Provy is, and usually does. But you bring these leaders in, these guys that have been around, they have experience, and it just makes for not just a better team, but better chemistry, better camaraderie, guys who know how to lighten the mood. Like, when was the last time you heard a player say thank you on the ice just for the goaltender just settling a puck? I think that's going to say a lot about this team moving forward, especially this season. And it's going to be one of those situations where it's may not end with the Stanley Cup run, but it's going to be a run where you're going to be like, wow, where has this team been? Like,
yeah.
How come Chuck Fletcher couldn't do this with the Wild? It's going to just because, it's just they're not big moves. Well, Ryan Ellis was, but they're not big moves. But these are going to be moves that are going to help this team take that next step, especially some of these younger players. True.
Let's see. Benny's saying, let's see how the veterans bring Sanheim along. I would like to see that. I think that he'll learn a good amount, even if he's playing with Risto, and Risto's more of a physical player. I think that would allow for Travis to get a little bit more creative when he plays, and I think, Rob, I think you might have been saying that earlier on a few weeks beforehand, where if Risto can do the stay at home, give the hits out, lay the crunch down, and be a little bit more of that presence in front of Hart, gives Travis a chance to be a little bit more of that sneaking defenseman that he can be, and show a little bit more of that skill that he has that we've seen. And I mean, we saw it against that game in Boston when we finally beat them for once last year. It's like Sanheim has skill, and it'll be a good chance for him to be able to use it. So you have your offensive threat in the blue line, but you also have your defensive threat there as well. And it may also teach Travis a few defensive elements to his game that could help him. And it may also make him play with a little bigger set of balls to say, like, you know what? If Risto's going to throw guys to the friggin' ice, I'm going to do it too. Fuck it.
Got to match the intensity, brother. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing, too. They can't play down to opponents. They have to keep their foot on the gas.
Yeah, play aggression. Yeah, absolutely.
And just the way you just put it, Rob, it just kind of made me think of that. You got to play a little more aggressive. You can't play down to some of these lower level teams, and the Flyers, really, Philadelphia is known for that. And it's you have to play up. You have to play special teams. You gotta convert.
Yeah,
but I do think a lot of good things about this team, and I think they got a lot of good things about them getting ready to just kind of explode.
Yeah,
you need TK to step up. TK has to step up because he was either double zeros or Larry Knight was saying earlier. He needs to be a 30-plus goal scorer. He has to be at this point in his career. Anything short of that is a disappointing season for him.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that this is a big make it or break it year for him. It's like he's been in the league now for 5 years? He's been here for a while. It's not like he's brand spanking new like he was a few years back when we got back to the playoffs and lost to the Penguins. And that was a good year for him. He played very well that year, and it looked like, okay, this kid could be a future goal scorer for us. So, it's like Now, he had another great year following that, better year after that, and like, all right, now it's kind of been stymied, and it's like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? But Rob said it before, it's all up here, and it's right, it's definitely in his head, if anything else. He's just got to get through those mental blocks, and if he gets through them, man, he's got all that potential. But person saying, can I get a little love for Taze? 4 points in 3 games.
No, fuck Taze.
See, you finally, god damn, man. Took you forever to finally say fuck the Blackhawks and fuck Taze and everything. Jesus.
Oh no, I love Jonathan Taze. I'm just giving Priz a hard time he's giving me tonight.
I'll still take that I'll take that as a small victory. I gotta get him some.
He sucks. Horrible captain. I'm just kidding.
Don saying, how's Martin Jones been looking? He looked better in that Washington game. He got rattled against Boston.
He didn't look good tonight, I'll tell you that much. I think he gave up both goals.
Yeah. But again, in both instances in game 1 and 3 there, you have very low-level defenders in front of you. The one in the middle, he had actually. So, I mean, like, I know there's a big thing. I mean, Martinez was going at it on Twitter, like saying, like, stop attacking Martin Jones. Like, you got to have it in the context of the game where, it doesn't set him up to look well coming in first game or what have you. But you saw what he could be, and you saw that he could be an adequate goaltender that could start you 25, 30 games.
True. And I mean,
for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, Martin Jones, the only the only reason why I've been down on him is because of the last few seasons he's had. It's kind of looking like he's on the end of his career here. And it's like, okay, he's lucky if he landed with another team after he left the Sharks. He landed with Philly. And now it's like, why didn't we just bring back Elliot? Like there was that kind of vibe going for me. But again, it's preseason. And like you said, Rob, prospects in front of him, not starting D-men, or at least not full starting D. So again, you had, like you were saying, context. Got to look at the situation, a little bit more.
But being back with his old goalie coach, Kim Dillabaugh, I mean, I think could be really great for his game. And he's a guy to be paying attention to earlier in the season in terms of his level of play. He did look good in that middle game against Washington. That was just an overall great game.
He did. And see, John saying prediction: JVR scores 17 power play goals this season. He's been getting started early too. He was the guy assisting Joel Farabee in a lot of those goals, and he's been everywhere as well. He's been getting aggressive. He's gripping guys up, and he's trying to get offense going everywhere he's been. So far so good for JVR. I mean, it's starting to look like, okay, maybe it wasn't the worst thing in the world bringing him back longer term than normal.
I've noticed him taking a stronger leadership role than I've ever seen him take too. Really getting into the ending, the sort of the twilight of his career and his veteranship. If he produces that level, John, and you get maybe a similar production from Cam Atkinson, which is very distinctly possible, that takes a little bit of that onus off of TK. Off of some of the other guys to where, they don't have to be pressing, really gripping that stick, and then just naturally let 20, 25, 30 goals flow like wine. Let's go.
Rizzo just popped a solo shot.
It's all that.
I mean, they have to use JVR right, and JVR needs to be in front of that net, causing havoc like he always does. I could definitely see him getting 17 power play goals this year, and I think it's going to be 17 of 25 goals that he scores for the season. He's got to be with the right group of guys, especially on the power play unit, to get 17 guys who aren't afraid to shoot. And I know they're going to sit there and just kind of go back and forth, and they're going to pass a few times waiting for the lane to open up, but they can't be afraid to shoot. Especially if they see him out in front. He needs to block off the vision of the goaltender. He needs to figure out ways to get a deflection, something to make the puck bounce off a defender or something, to create havoc out in front of that net. He needs to. That's what JVR does best. That's how he scores his goals.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
What's up,
very,
Wills?
Very true. Hey,
winning
we
people
got
money.
Wills here. Yeah, we do. What's up, Wills? What's going on, brother?
Yo.
And Double Zero said, "Does JVR even stay on this team?"
He
Yeah, I
stays.
think he does.
He's got a tough contract to move, but I think he's only got
Yeah.
2 years left this year, next year.
I think about 2, because I think it was a 5-year deal that Hexy
Right.
signed him to.
Right, and he had the first full year, and then the COVID year, then last year,
Yeah, so I think it's.
and then I think he's got 2 years left. I think he's got this year and next year, and then his contract's up. But he's just got a tough contract to move at 7.5.
Yeah, it was a heavy salary price. That's why a lot of people were kind of like, really, you brought him back for that much? Because after his really good years in Toronto, you would figure, is he going to be the same player coming back to Philadelphia? But
I think he's going to be another guy that benefits from the moves that were made this offseason.
Yeah,
because I think he
agree.
gets a little too uptight as well, and I think you bring in guys who know how to keep the locker room light. It's just going to make for good things.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm right, John. I'm not. I might be an idiot, but I'm not dumb.
It is indeed 2 years too, by the way. But he makes up $4 million in the last year, but I think it's still a $7 million cap hit, nonetheless. So I think that's what makes it tough to move. But it's a legitimate question because you think about it this way, like I panned out what the lines may look like to start the season, and this is excluding Kevin Hayes and Wade Allison. And okay, maybe you could substitute out Nasty Nate on that fourth line and have Scotty Jetpacks centering it. You rotate a guy down like maybe a JVR, and that allows you to fit in Kevin Hayes up top. But Wade Allison, to your point, Maddie, did enough last year where he could earn serious consideration. Maybe he's got to get some more playing time coming off the injury for the Phams in order to sort of reprove where he's at that point. But if things start to get to be a bit of a log jam, in terms of, JVR is going to need to produce in order to, stay on this team, or at least stay active on this team, I should say.
True.
I mean, unless, the Flyers find themselves in a situation where they're looking up into the playoffs, I don't see a JVR move coming anytime soon.
Nah.
Maybe a team like Detroit could use a guy like JVR.
True. I mean, that's an if scenario, a what if scenario now.
That's absolutely a what if scenario, and I'm just saying because just for the sake of the question from Double Zeros, it's just he is beneficial to this team in a bunch of different ways. He scored a bunch of big time goals. He's useful on the power play. He's not the 30 goal scorer you're going to have anymore, 35 goals that he had in Toronto. But I mean, he still has his uses, and he's one of the few power forwards, not only just left in the league, but one of the few power forwards left on the Flyers that is willing to go right to the net, stand in front of the goaltender, and take a beating. Because it's what he does. It's what he's always done. The Flyers, I believe, protected him in the expansion draft for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Real quick, Maddie. All I'm saying is it's if it's on the flip side where you're not getting that 17 to 25 goals, and maybe God forbid, I don't want to wish it upon him, but what if he's off to no goals, 10 assists through 30, 35 games, and a player like Wade Allison is ready to come back? You know what I mean? It might get to a point where, he's your extra forward. That's what I'm just saying. I'm talking on the flip side. Do I see that happening? No, because he can have that big body in front of the net and get tons of deflected power play goals off the stick of Keith Yandel and Ivan Provorov.
But he all right. So just to kind of because I picked on Maddie all night, I'm going to pick on you a little bit here, Robbie.
Okay.
Play devil's advocate here. Do you really think it'd be okay to sit a $7.5 million player? I understand his production's down in 30, 35 games. Maybe sit him for a game or two, kind of get him to reset. But I don't see him sitting long term for a guy like Wade Allison, who's
they did it last
considered
year?
A little unproven.
They did it last year?
They sat him?
Yeah.
I don't remember him sitting JVR.
Yeah,
I mean, you're probably right. I get off to a slow start, 10 assists. Yeah, I get it. Maybe sit him a game or two, reset, hit the reset button and get him to kind of just, take some a little bit of that pressure off himself and sit. And watch the game, and just to get him going again,
Sure.
game or two. But I don't see anything like long term. You know what I mean?
Well, if he's sitting at that level and I'm talking, I said 35 games. Let's project that out to 41 games, and it's midway through the season, and you're at the All-Star break, and you're not getting any production out of JVR. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I mean, worst case scenario, you know, because you do have other talented forwards that can play at this level.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? You know what
For
I mean?
sure.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like is his leash going to be longer with the contract? You're absolutely right. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to get value off of money, and I get that. And I don't even think it's a mute issue because, you know, what we saw early on, if they had maintained that level of play, you would have seen JVR continue to be that driving force in front of the net, you know, leading the league in deflected goals. And you know what I mean? So I think in the end, JVR could potentially be, you know, borderline top 6, third line pairing worse. But I'm saying if you get the other side of JVR, the dark side of the ring side.
No, for sure. And I agree. And the only reason why I'm playing devil's advocate is because of how much he's making.
Right.
If he was making less than that, yeah, I'm like, yes, get him. So we'll put Allison in there.
You're not wrong. I get it. Yeah.
But I mean, just because of the price tag that's attached to him right now, you can't sit him more than like a game or two. Just kind of hit the reset button. You get him to relax a little bit, you know, reset the mind, reset the body, kind of take some of the pressure off of himself. And, you know, it gets tough because, you know, $7.5 million. What if Wade Allison comes in and lights it up? You know what I mean? That's $7.5 million. You got to put JVR back in at some point. You know what I mean?
Why?
Making less, I'm all about it. He was making
that. A lot of money. I'll sit $7 million right now. No problem.
If only.
Double zeros.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $7 million. Let's go.
Double zeros is saying, and we were all expecting Seattle to draft JVR, but they didn't. But they did barely nothing in their draft. Not saying JVR is super star, but I mean, that whole thing. Seattle wasn't looking to try and compete now. So that's the whole reason why they didn't really do anything, you know. I mean, the biggest thing they did was they went and grabbed Philip Grubauer and what's his name from Calgary to be their captain.
Mark Giordano, who actually scored his first goal for Seattle against Calgary, which I thought was pretty fitting.
But they did make some good subtle picks, like Nathan Bastian's a good choice. I've liked his play in the preseason. He's been very big on the contribution side, you know. So there have been some subtle picks that Seattle has made that could make this team an interesting team to watch. Plus, also, they're in the Pacific Division. So it's a little bit of a weaker division as compared to the others. Not saying Seattle's going to light the world on fire like Vegas did, but, you know, they might have a decent season under, you know, coming out of this, you know, first year.
But I do like not to really. Apparently, I'm picking on everybody tonight, so I'm just going to keep going here down the list.
I love it. It makes it great.
Sure.
Go ahead. Show.
I love what Seattle did. I love it. No, they're not going to compete right away, but they're building themselves up to be a team that's going to compete for a few years.
Yeah.
Right.
Vegas, yeah, they wanted to make a splash right out of the gate because they're in a market that they actually needed to push it because Vegas is a tough market because, one, it's the desert. Not necessarily sure how hockey is going to do in a market like that. Hell, we kind of seen it in Arizona. We've kind of seen how it does. Like, it's not. I mean, Arizona is just a mess of an organization to begin with, but it's a situation where, you know, you have to make that splash early. Yeah, they did well in the in the season tickets. Their inaugural year, they pretty much sold out. But in order for that to keep going, you have to put a good team out on the ice. A market like Seattle, you actually have time to build a franchise.
Yeah. You
don't have to go out and compete right away. Seattle did a great job in picking young talent. They put some good players around. Tanev, I thought Hayden Fleury was a great pickup. His brother Caden is a good pickup. So that's some of the younger talent there. Hayden Fleury is actually a top-notch young player, and I think he's going to be great in that organization. It's a shame that he didn't get to have a little more time in Anaheim, but they took some moves that were kind of like, really? But they made some good ones, bringing in vets like I said, Brandon Tanev is a good pickup. Yanni Gourde is a good pickup. I know he's not going to play right away. I think he's still out for another month. But he was a good pickup. They got some good veteran leadership in there as well. But they're a team looking to compete for a few years down the road and have guys ready to go instead of building the depth of the organization straight through the draft, which is kind of what Vegas did. But again, Vegas had to be flashy. They had to be flashy out of the gate. I don't think Seattle had to.
No, yeah, I can agree. It's a different market. Benny's did say Vegas attracts at least the out of towner fans, and as that is at least a destination where Arizona and Seattle is not close to being on par. In terms of like tourists and tourism and stuff like that, yeah, I can agree on that, and that's understandable because Vegas is always a place people want to go to, so I could see that side of it. And what was the other comment here?
No, Joey, it's my Chemo jersey. I love Chemo. He was one of my favorite players in the NHL.
And Double Zero saying, come on, dude, it's a tough market. If that's the case, don't give Seattle a hockey team. Give Canada back one of their teams. Canada is crazy for hockey.
I was all for it going back to Canada, though. Like, I wanted them to go back to Quebec. I didn't necessarily want them to go back to Seattle, but I do essentially like what they're trying to do. They didn't go crazy in the expansion draft because of all the players that were going to be out on free agency. So they could have still made the splash and get the players they wanted in free agency versus having to potentially lose out on a younger player who could turn out to be a star and snag him there and get that free. Everybody thought Landeskog was going. And he thought they were going to be picked from Colorado. He wasn't, but he was a free agent because they still could have gone after him. So either way, you're still getting that young talent, but still giving you a chance at getting yourself that superstar.
True.
I love what Seattle did. I don't think they did great in free agency, but I love what they did in the draft. I don't think they're a playoff team yet. I think they'll compete, but I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose a wild card spot. But again, to Maddie's point, they're in a pretty weak division. So they could potentially wind up being a playoff team anyway.
Hi, Eileen.
But yeah, I was all for them going back to Quebec. I think Quebec needs a city or a team like ASAP.
Yeah.
Hi, Eileen.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that the NHL just, they don't have as much faith in the Canadian dollar as they do the American dollar. That's the sad part of it.
But back to Winnipeg.
Well,
it's just a matter of time before they go back to Quebec.
But they wanted to keep the team in Atlanta, but eventually they realized it was just untenable in Atlanta because they had botched it. So
that Atlanta organization was terrible. It's I really like I strongly believe with Arizona's leasing issues right now, they will be bought by somebody else and moved back. Probably Quebec, maybe Hamilton, one of the Canadian cities. I definitely believe that Arizona does not stay in Arizona after this year. If they do, I'm going to be very surprised.
Like we said earlier, Arizona with their situation, they did not get their lease renewed because they weren't paying dues, and also the product hasn't exactly been stellar, so it's not exactly like I think the arena is desperately hoping for them to stay. They did file to try and get the city of Tempe to try and have a place for them, but we don't know exactly if that's going to be official. We haven't heard anything on that. That may not come out until the end of the year. So
it might not come out until next summer.
Yeah. So we may not hear about that for a while. Now, if that falls through, then yeah, it's very possible Arizona's moving and leaving, and if that's the case, it just goes down to, this was inevitable. This organization had been so poorly ran. It's a surprise it took this long for them to finally be said, yeah, that's it. It's over.
I'm gonna say something that Joe DeCamera says all the time. I truly believe Arizona moves out and you get a team back in Canada.
Double Zero saying, off the cuff question. Oakland A's are probably getting moved. Do you guys think they come back home to Philly with their 5 titles won in Philly?
They're going to
know.
Vegas if they go anywhere. I think that's just me.
Do you guys think that Philadelphia would even want to support two teams, even if one's in the AL and one's in the NL?
One, they don't have the market for it.
Right.
It's not like New York or LA. Two, this fan base barely supports one baseball team, let alone two.
That's a true story.
I was waiting for you to respond to that, Rob.
It's enough with the Pirates, right? I'm across the other side of the state, you know.
We have enough disappointing teams, and I think bringing Oakland to Philly would be one. But no, I hear a lot of rumors of Oakland joining the Raiders and going to Vegas.
It fits. Two Bay Area teams going to Vegas just seems like that's the case. I mean, I would worry about the Sharks, but there's already a Vegas hockey team. So
but San Jose has a fan base.
San
Jose has a fan base.
I'm just joking. I was just joking.
No, I mean, I'm not exactly not on the Flyers side. I just have a Kimmo Timonen jersey because I love Kimmo Timonen. He was one of my favorite defensemen after Desjardins left.
We've warped his brain. We've got him to the dark side.
You wish.
To the bully's way of thinking.
Yeah.
If I showed you all my closet right now, you'd be surprised at the jerseys that I have.
Well, we know that you have that, Chicago Blackhawks Patrick Kane jersey.
I have Kaner. I have Brian Ralston for the Minnesota Wild. I have Renee
St.
Bourque.
Louis Blues jersey for Paul Correa because that was the year
Two of
that
them.
St. Louis won the cup and we had that one going.
Two of them. Hang on. Hey, come here. Come here. You too. All right. I actually got two right here. I have this guy. So my faith remains. Although, I got to figure out, one, how the hell I'm going to get it lettered. Two, who I'm going to put on the back.
Make it an obscure player, but a good player. Like a player that you would know as a Ducks fan.
I have one in mind.
Seagrass.
Don actually knows him too. Don knows him. He had most of his success with Detroit, and that's Sergei Fedorov. And this guy. These guys are going to wind up on one of my walls somewhere. Nice. So no, I didn't go.
I
to
like
the
that
dark
one.
side.
That's a nice jersey.
Oh, I love it. I have four of them. That's number 4.
That's a nice jersey.
I got
where you hiding that Chris Gratton jersey?
Chris Gratton. Wow, that's a name drop. That's awesome. Wow, that's a name drop. That's one I haven't heard in a while. What was I saying?
Bobby, we got Bobby Stevens chiming in saying cool hockey. Yeah, he's saying cool hockey can do it for you with the right numbers and letters.
Do they do? I don't know if they have the vintage stuff though. That's the only problem. I know that's where I get all my jerseys from is Cool Hockey actually, and they do a fantastic job over there. I've had no issues with any of the jerseys I've had done. I don't think they do the vintage numbers like that. Otherwise I would absolutely send it out to them. So if you know, I would. Yeah, let me know, Bobby. Absolutely. What is it? Yeah, Fedorov. I'm gonna go Fedorov. I already have like 7 Teemu Solani jerseys. I've got a bunch of Paul Correas. Why not go Sergei Fedorov? Piss off Don a little bit. Some bitch.
You just pissing everybody off tonight, man.
I'm in a mood. That's everybody's fault. They came at me first.
Aline,
actually, not Don. I kind of feel bad for Don. He's just on the front end of it.
Yeah, you started with Don, and then you whacked him with the stick, and next thing you know, the freaking Hornets just started coming at you right after that.
Well, Prism came at me first because saying Sarah has a bone to pick with you. I didn't do nothing.
Well, Double Zeros, I think, is joining the rush here because he says, "This goes over podcast for me. Look at these jerseys I have. Can you do a magic trick next?" I think he's also jumping in on this now.
That's why you got to listen live. That's why I like to put your show live. I'd rather have you guys live than listen on the podcast. You know what I mean?
John saying, I'm captain for the terrible Flyers jersey. So God.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
I got a couple bad ones. I showed a couple off a couple weeks ago, John. I have Max Talbot I have a Max Talbot jersey. Wasted money on that. I have a Scotty Upshaw. Wasted money on that. Although I was a big fan of Scotty.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't a flashy player, but
Don. Yeah, I'm definitely joining the flight zone.
he didn't even spell it right. And then I have Darian Hatcher. Although Darian Hatcher wasn't really a terrible Flyers jersey, but
no, he was actually.
It's also one of my favorite jerseys too because it's the 3D one with the 3D logo. That was a badass jersey.
Like I said, if you had gotten a Rathje jersey, that would have been a different ballgame. So
Bobby's saying he was hoping it was going to be Chad Kilger. That's a name drop. Chad Kilger is a name drop.
That's a name
Nicely
drop right
done,
there.
Bobby.
And let's see, and Benny's was saying get a Bobby Dallas jersey. Go original Ducks. That is original.
And that's an original jersey too. And
we got Ryan. He's got a Ryan Parent jersey. Oh my God, Ryan Parent! What a
Did he ever play a game for the Flyers? I know he was with the FanUps for the most.
I think he played like one or two. He didn't play many for the Flyers, and he did not pan out whatsoever. Oh my God, he was like Kyle Calder. He didn't pan out either. Jesus. Anyway,
It's not me being an English major, Don. It's the name of the show. It's PHILTE.
To you all, who was your least fave Flyer? Well, for me, it's a tie between Luke Shen and Andrew fucking McDonald. So between the two,
I still love you, Don.
I was going to say about Perrin. I just looked up our Perrin, I should say. He played 48 games in 09-10, 31 the year before, 22 the year before that. Yeah, he was up with them for a little bit. I'm not saying he was good, but he was up.
I was just saying, I don't ever remember Ryan ever having any time with the big club. That's all.
That tells you a lot. If he played 48 games in the 09 and 10 season and he was irrelevant, like holy shit, he really was irrelevant. He played that many games and we don't remember him. Like goddamn. Ryan and Andy Delmore. Andy Delmore. That's a name that will haunt you if you remember that in Flyers history. Ugh.
You go, Don. A little salt for you.
Or how about freaking ones that didn't pan out but went on to go pan out, like Donna Zubris, Patrick Sharp.
You know who one of my least favorite Flyers was, and I actually thank Bobby for kind of like sparking this one. Alexander Daig.
Oh, good one. That's
Daig,
a good one.
yeah, that was. So, you talk about smart. So you're in the Flyers GM front office here, and your thought is Alexander Daig, who has not panned out, hasn't even played really any games with the Ottawa Senators. Let's go get him. Let's go trade for that. Yeah, I know he was a number 1 pick, but you know what? Kid hadn't done shit. So let's just go get him. But then again, Ottawa, wound up fleecing a lot of people. They fleeced the Islanders around that time and traded Alexei Yashin to him. So Ottawa's just fleecing people left and right.
The thing about Daig was maybe he wasn't necessarily the guy who fit the Ottawa scheme right away. No, because sometimes that does happen. A guy won't play well in a certain organization. So thought maybe you can come to Philly and get something to spark. He just never sparked.
No, not at all.
He just never sparked.
Hey, I got a name drop. Jason Smith. Oh, Jason Smith. The holdover as captain. I remember that. That was a rough year.
I loved him.
Jason
Even
Smith.
when he was at Edmonton, he was such a hard-nosed, blue-collar type of defenseman, type of player. I love Jason Smith. It was a shame he only had 1 year here.
Well, and the funny part is he was captain, but he was a captain that was only there because we didn't have someone that wear the C at the time. That was the funny part of it. That's the whole reason why he wore it in the first place.
Worth it.
But yeah, we did that with Pavel Brindle as well. Oh, Pavel Brindle. Yeah. That didn't work out either.
That was another under he just didn't live up to the hype either.
Yeah. And you could have said Adam Oates or Yari Curry.
He's still on the Fedorov thing. Let me have Sergei. He just mad he wasn't playing for Chicago.
Yeah.
because he ripped Chicago a new one when he was playing for Detroit.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll go there.
Peter
I'll go
Nedved.
there.
Oh, Peter Nedved. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate Peter Nedved, but I could
Loved
understand.
him.
Yeah.
I just assumed the Flyers didn't have him in the front end of his career when he was a little bit of a better player, but I love Peter Nedved.
Yeah. Yep,
But
obviously,
Radek
said my first
Dvorak.
jersey I got for my 10th B day in '98, Donis Zubris. Huh.
That's another good one.
There you go. But yeah, the most obscure name I've got for my jersey collection is Biron, which, to be fair, he had a good year for the Flyers, so I can't really knock him that bad. 2008, so I mean, we did get to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. So next year,
Priz, you're lucky I love you, bro. He said you can have all the Sir Gays you want, Brian.
Kevin Stevens was my least favorite Flyer. That's an interesting name right there.
Well,
Kevin
he
Stevens.
was a pain in the ass when he played. Was it the Rangers? I want to say it was either the
Penguins.
Rangers or Pittsburgh or both.
Penguins. Okay.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass for prison, or for playing against him with the Penguins.
He said, Moore saying, my sister wore a Zubris jersey around New Hampshire when the Flyers beat the Bruins in that come from behind playoff series. Ha! Nice. I love it. Love it. Funny enough, too, one of the guys that Donis played with on the Flyers was on that Bruins team in friggin' Mark Recchi. So there you go. Anyway.
Kevin Stevens did play 4 seasons in New York. Or 3
Okay,
seasons,
so
excuse me.
I do remember both. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He was
also played a year. He also played a year in Boston and 2 for the Kings.
Huh. Interesting.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Vaguely remember that one. Yeah.
Benny's was saying he was a cokehead, but a lot of guys were cokeheads back then. Almost half of the fucking NHL was cokeheads back then.
Pretty sure most of them still are.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about
Jeff Carter's still partying.
Earlier in the show. I think we need to be looking more into the coke epidemic that's running around the NHL.
I mean, Jeff Carter's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's taking lines off of Sidney Crosby's butt crack.
Probably is. He's probably doing it with Gino, honestly. They're probably just in a chorus line of that shit going on down the...
Well, Gino's hurt. Gino's not allowed in the locker room.
Yo, let me just say something. Maddie, before you jumped on the stream, this guy over here is telling me, like, yo, I don't think I'm going to be saying much tonight. My energy level's down or whatever. This dude is been on fire with the comments all fucking show. That's usually how it works, too. Just saying.
Nice. Oh,
usually. You guys get me amped up.
John saying, I have a Valerie
these guys too.
Jersey.
None of you have touched the worst jersey that I have yet. So,
well, we were waiting for you to say it.
Well, we haven't given him a chance to jump in either.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, all right, shame on us. I'll serve a 2-minute minor. I'll take that one for the team. Anyway.
That's right. I'm not doing it.
Yes, I called a penalty on myself. Listen, I am not biased. I will call a penalty on myself. I have no problem with that.
John. Mike Richards. Did I hear somebody say Coke?
I immediately read that's exactly what I was going to say. Now, I have a Richie jersey, but I'm still proud of that jersey. You got to be proud of that jersey. That's not a bad jersey.
I used to have a Jeff Carter jersey when they had the really cool, I guess you can call them the diamond jerseys or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they did the jersey changeover, when I think Reebok initially took over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love those jerseys, man. I wish I still had it.
They were good.
That's the Biron one I have. I have the black one because black was still the home color for the Flyers at the time.
Yeah. Priz is right though. You do have to needle me a little bit to get me going.
Let's see here. There's one more. Oh God, Prism's saying he's waiting for a Neil Broughton jersey.
Have you observed that he still hasn't given me an opportunity to answer the question, Brian?
Sorry.
He put himself in the box, but then he still just keeps on going on.
That's because I like taking more. I like stacking up.
Maddie put himself in the box. I didn't. I said I'm not putting myself in the box. I'm muting myself though.
That's why I bet him. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him.
Listen, Rob, you know what it is, man. It's like the 19.
No, this Joel up here,
brother.
Right,
brother, you know what it is. It's all about that 1970s Broad Street Bully high. I'm just stacking up those penalty minutes, brother. You know that's what I'm doing.
I'm waiting on Neil Broughton North. That's awesome.
All right, Robbie, what you got, man?
Bobby Esch, otherwise known as Robert Esch.
Ash.
Yeah.
Ash.
Now you know.
Oh,
Now you know my pain. Not my. I still like. He was a head case, but I still like him to this day. Not my least favorite Flyer. My answer to that question is always going to be Carbomb, 100%. I had no respect for his hockey game. He was basically our Sean Avery, and I don't have respect for that style of hockey. But yeah, I'd have to say the Esch one was bad because back in the day I was on fire. Like, I'd have the Tocchet, I'd have the Brendy, you know what I mean? Moved on to I never got Lindros at Johnny's, of course, number 10 back in the late 90s era or whatnot. And then I went right on to Richie, Danny B from the first Winter Classic. I love that jersey with the tie strings up top. And now of course Carter Hart. So, the last goaltending jersey I had was Robert Esch. I'm hoping I don't jinx this kid. Please, God, please. Don't do it to us. Don't do it.
Well, in his defense, Carter Hart's not as much of a head case and a lunatic like Robert Esch is.
Him and Czech Manic were both fucking that. Ugh. Anyway. And people wonder why Flyers goaltenders are not given too much of a leash because of shit like that. Anyway,
the Ronick jersey's boss, man. What are you talking about?
Listen, I got a Ronick jersey. It's not.
I was about to say, Maddie, don't you have one?
I have it's a Coyotes one,
Doesn't matter.
It's the Chiquino one. So listen, that's the thing. Like, I still got the proper Coyotes jersey. I didn't go with the modern day bullshit ones, although they've brought back the proper ones now. So hey, listen, for all the bullshit that we throw at the Coyotes, at least they did one thing right in their entire existence. They had cool jerseys. That was it. Everything else was shit.
You know what? I think I just realized who I'm going to get on this jersey. Why not get Dan Bilesma? You want to throw a name out there? Let's throw out Dan Bilesma.
Yes, he did play for the Ducks, didn't he? Holy
shit.
Didn't he play for the Kings too?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think he played for both, but I could be wrong. But yes, I do know he did play for the Ducks. He was on that 03 team.
I was about to say he was on the 03 team too.
Yeah. That's funny as shit. Oh my God.
Have a great night, Eileen.
Night, Eileen. And speaking of that too, I know we've been having fun. And I know everybody loves throwing out these names, and we love it too. We love talking about this stuff just as much as you guys. But at the end of the day, I think it's time we wind this bad boy down.
Yeah, we got to get one last one in here real quick. John brought up a great one. Eric Weinrich and his yellow visor.
Oh,
yes. There you go. Yeah.
Or
you could go full on like Goon and get Gino Ojic, and then there you go. Guy who used to beat the shit out of people, and that was the only thing he did on the ice was beat the shit out of people. I
forgot about Gino Ojic.
Yeah, and he did play for the Flyers too. He played for Vancouver though, which I think most people remember him for playing out there. But anyway,
my last random name, real quick. Maybe I know he didn't play for Anaheim, but I might throw it on there just because Joel Otto.
Oh yeah,
Joel Otto. There you go. That's a fun name.
100%.
I love Joel Otto. He was one of my favorite Flyers growing up.
You got one to throw out there to close out the show?
In terms of like guy ex-Flyer that makes you want to vomit,
or just an obscure name, whichever one you want to throw
name drop.
Trent Klatt.
Trent Klatt. Nice.
Staying on that same line, I believe too. They used to play on the same line together.
Yes.
Who played on the other side? Was it Falloon? Falloon was on the other side of that line, right?
Todd Fedoruk.
Ooh, you played for Anaheim? I could put him on my. I could put him on the jersey too.
Oh God! Yeah, there you go. Back in the good old days, right? All right, guys. We thank you for joining us. We had a lot of fun as always. We love you guys out there. We love all the names you guys have been throwing out from Philadelphia and from hockey history, really. Ducks history, too. We love that. And
Bobby Stevens, man. Bobby Stevens is dropping some names.
He is. And he did confirm that Dan played for both the Kings and the Ducks. So there we go.
Dave Babbage.
Yeah, we thank you guys for joining us. And we hope that you guys will continue to support us as always. And Bri, this is where I send it off to you. Where can they go to support us? Not just us, though, but the entire A2D family.
Well, first, before I jump into that, I want to say I love you guys. We had a lot of fun tonight. I didn't mean anything that I said to anybody, even though I noticed Don left my name out of that, little goodnight message. Great show. And that he doesn't love me anymore, but I still love him. A lot of fun tonight, guys. It was actually one of the more fun shows I've had in a while. But yeah, you can head over to Philly Drinkers LLC. That's phillydrinkers.com. Get all kinds of H2D merch. We have a new shirt that just dropped today or yesterday. It's a retro Eagles logo with the H2D logo in its mouth. So go ahead and get that. We got the NBA thrust jersey, thrust t-shirt, all kinds of great stuff. I believe we still got Quarterback Factory, all kinds of great hats, hoodies, Nike hoodies, all kinds of great stuff. That's phillydrinkers.com, Philly Drinkers LLC. Let Alex take care of you guys.
Absolutely.
I love you too, Don. I love all you guys. I
love when it gets heated at happy hour, but we all cheers at the end.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. Love you guys. Cheers.
Hey, listen, it's all love all around from all three of us here, all out to you guys. Listen, we're all big fam here. Yeah, we like to yell and argue at each other and insult each other, but at the end of the day, it's all in good, clean fun. That's all.
Hug it out, bitch. Virtual hug it out.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, double zeros. Here's another good one for you. Branko Radivojevic.
Ooh, Radivojevic. I always loved that name, too. That was one of the coolest names I always thought.
You just threw out Nico Dimitrakos. That's a name.
Dimitrakos. There you go. Yeah.
Loved Radivojevic. I loved Radivojevic. He wasn't good, but I loved him.
I got one for that. Ruslan Fedotenko. There, that one was a fun one.
But but it's not just say Branko Radivojevic. It's just fun to say.
It is fun. Yeah.
Dmitry Yuskevich is probably my favorite name to say. I love it.
Yeah, that's another good one. It sure reminds me of 2.5 Men. I have to. I'm curious now, Don. Who's the half? I wonder.
Who's Charlie
Even
Sheen?
though I'm taller than most
That's
of
what I'm
guys.
really interested on. Who's Charlie Sheen?
But yeah, we love you guys. Let's keep going.
Rob's like, come on, we all know who Charlie Sheen is.
I'm more like John Cryer these days, though.
I like him as Lex Luthor, though, in Supergirl. Just putting that out there. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah, sure.
And by the way,
let's keep going, Matty.
Bri, quick question. Because you did so well at the Philly Drinkers, you have some advice out there for the gentlemen, don't you? Like a little certain something that the ladies don't like?
Oh, yeah. You know what, guys? Every once in a while, like it's a little humid down here in Garner, North Carolina tonight. So what happens is you get a little perspiration in certain areas. Last thing you want to do is just let it build up, and you wind up getting a little junk funk. They get a little smelly, a little sweaty. There's a good way to avoid that, guys. It's called Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com. Use promo code H2D. Get 20 yourself. What is it, Maddie? 25% off?
20%.
20% off Manscaped products. Get the Lawnmower 2.0. Keep everything nice and clean. Keep it looking pretty. You're smelling nice. You got to keep the ladies happy. But again, these humid nights, it gets a little sweaty down there. So head on over to Manscaped. All kinds of great products over there. They got crop deodorant, crop reviver. They got, and I know this is going to sound weird to say, it's good ball wipes, all kinds of great stuff. So head over to Manscaped. Get rid of the junk funk. Keep the females happy. And hey, you know what? You might even catch a whiff for yourself. You'd be like, oh, it smells great. Oh, it's my balls. Manscaped.com.
Well said.
They just put out a body wash today too. Checked out that email too, full body. So definitely got you smelling nice these days.
Yeah, definitely get that body. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I might have that.
And they also
I might already have that. I'll have to use it.
They also have a couple of other free gifts that they're giving out. One's boxers. So, just to make sure you're covered up there before you have to, take care of business. And
Not
then,
chafing.
yes. And then on top of that as well, you don't want to be classless if like you're on the road and you're taking care of business when you're in a hotel room or something. A trimmings bag. Clean that shit up. Don't be an asshole. And also don't be an asshole at home too. Clean that shit up too. But that goes without saying.
Double zeros. As a user of most Manscaped products, I can say with complete certainty, it does not burn at all. At all.
At least it doesn't.
Actually feels very refreshing. Actually, I'm being dead serious too. Feels refreshing.
There's
Put it on
nothing
every time after the shower.
There's nothing like a shored scrotum. It's quite exhilarating.
By the way, PSA out there, since Double Zeros reminded me, never put Icy Hot on your balls. Been there, done that. Nope.
Yeah. But on a
I think they have
note,
something for that too, Double Zeros. I think they have something for ingrowns as well. So check them out. Just go to manscaped.com. Don't ask us. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code to get 20% off.
On a serious note, though, listen, if anybody out there is dealing with any kind of mental illness or anybody's dealing with any kind of drug addiction or what have you, call 856-651-8117, the Counseling Center Sunrise Detox. And in a serious note, listen, mental health is not something to play around with. Addiction issues are not something to play around with. If you or a loved one is going through that, go seek the help. Listen, I don't know if anybody's a wrestling fan out there, but I saw Chris Canyon's Dark Side of the Ring, guy who suffered from bipolarism, and he was living a double life because he was in the closet and he was scared to come out because at that time it wasn't widely accepted in the wrestling community. When he finally did, at least he was able to get that at least comforting, but he was still bipolar, and that's very serious. And eventually he unfortunately killed himself. So do not let things like that get out of control for a loved one or for yourself. Get the help you need. Call and make sure that's taken care of, because we don't want to see that happen. So
absolutely, it doesn't end. It won't end well.
No, absolutely not. Sends everything into a tailspin.
Thanks, Pris. I don't know how to take that. I will take that as a compliment. I did a good job. Does that mean you're going to manscaped.com right now? And hopefully. Mo, flip it. Drunk funk, not funk junk. Drunk funk. Flip it.
And specialized physical therapy. They just recently have concussion services available to them. Dr. Paul Vidal over in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Listen, man, if you got any aches and pains, they're the guys to go to fix that up. But I will tell you, his shoulder has been feeling great since he visited them.
Rock stars over there.
Absolutely.
Check out my girl Allie in Burlington. I think she's still over there. Last I heard, she was still over there. Check out my girl Carrie over in Cherry Hill. Or just go see Dr. Paul himself. He's our doctor, making yours.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you have been taking the advice of Willie Vegas and Money Pop Podcast and you want to know where you want to go to earn some of that cash, FanUp is where you want to go. It is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. You can win great prizes. And if you sign up today, you use the promo code A2D for 5,000 points. A $50 value. FanUp.app. Listen, guys. We want you guys to make that money, and we're giving you an avenue to do it as well. So not only are we giving you the advice, we're giving you an app to go along with it and giving you a discount on top of it. So trust me, we're trying to pay you guys to be members here.
That's essentially what we're doing. You're giving us $9.99 a month, but we're going to give you more money back because Money Moss knows how to get your money back. So does Willie Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to hit every time? No, probably not. But, I mean, these guys are going to get you your money back and then some.
Stupid Android. It's only for Apple iPhones, but it makes me almost want to get it to take advantage. That's a pretty good deal, man.
This is a pretty good deal. I took advantage. Hit on a couple bets last week with the Eagles game. So, let's go money.
Absolutely. And if you got some of that money and you want to spend it and you want to get yourself a nice watch, LaTerrain.com is the place to go. And you can use the A2D code for there as well for 10% off. And if you want to get a fancy watch to look all nice and awesome, if you got, like, say, a wedding to go to or just a nice evening out with the gal or the guy, or if, at the end of the day, if you want to just look cool, just look awesome, they got those kind of matte watches. They've also got the watches for workout as well. So, they've got all all that you need right there. If you want to spend a little bit of that cash you just earned on that fantasy and look nice while you do it, FlyTerrain.com. That's the place to go to.
Well done, Maddie. Well done. Because, you know, Money Moss and Willie V are going to get you that money back. So
Absolutely.
use some of those winnings on yourself. Make, you know, a nice watch. Get yourself a nice watch.
Treat yourself
Mo.
in this world.
Yeah, Mo. Don. Quit being a little bitch.
And then if you are looking to buy or sell a home or make a move like one Mr. Brian Daly did just recently, and you're looking for a change in career or a brokerage, you can contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him on the web at alan.foy at exprealty.com. Big step in life. Do it right. Alan Foy's the guy to go to get that done. Next up, All Campus. 20% off everything in the store, including hats, shirts, and team cornhole sets for all subscribers. I know we're starting to get to that point where OC is starting to get ready to close down. If there's still a little bit of time left, get on down there. Go see John. He's awesome. He was jamming in today. And he does do the rant booth, like Bri always says. When's that again?
Every Saturday, I believe, 4 or 4:30. He does it right in his store. So head on down to All Campus. Get yourself, pick up yourself a hat. They got all kinds of great stuff there. It is not just hats, but and then jump in the rant booth with Billy Schwein from ESPN Radio.
Absolutely,
Good time down there.
Absolutely. And then to finish off with this, we have Body Check Wellness. You know what it's all about. It's THC-free and hemp products, ointments, gummies, edibles. They're always coming out with new products as well. Riley Cote, the man who created this, he's not going to steer you wrong. You know, this stuff is to help you with your diet, focus, clarity, balance in life. It's to get you at the right points, to get you in that mode of, I can get this done and I will get this done. And that's exactly what Body Check Wellness is all about. So check them out, 25% off of your order with A2D promo code. Hey, it's definitely worth it.
Buddy Rob uses some of that stuff and it helps.
Nice. All right, gentlemen.
Rant booth, 00. Booth.
All right, guys. So we thank you for joining us. And we love you guys out there. We hope you guys come back next week, because by the time we are next week, hold on, let me double check.
Opening night, baby.
Yeah.
Opening
My
night.
God. I just realized
we can do
that.
some live reactions for the Penguins Lightning 7:30 start, and then we got the Kraken Golden Knights at the double dip, the double header opening night. So we'll be live during that day, and we'll also be previewing the Flyers not opening their season until Friday, October 15th. So I have a few days ahead to get a nice perspective.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Listen, man, we're excited for it. We can't wait. Opening night of the season. It's always a lot of fun. Hopefully the Penguins lose. And then on top of that, we get to see the Kraken take on the Golden Knights. That should be a fun matchup to see the two expansion teams clash with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pumped for it. Everyone should be pumped for it. That's next week. So we'll see you guys then. Be there. We'll be live. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you guys next week.
Real quick. What if we do? What if we do have a secret handshake? It's secret. It's between us. We'll see you guys next week. Love y'all.
Peace, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We'll see you next week, guys. Peace and love.